Good morning, it's 8:30 a.m. and we are here for our weekly consent agenda review. We will stand at ease until we have a quorum.
We can hold it. Do you want to just hold it till next week till Kevin's here?
Yeah, that was their recommendation, but they were on hold, so. Okay, thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, Jerry. Morning.
Morning.
Streets are looking, or the roads are looking clean. The
Well,
sides of the roads are looking clean.
Yeah. Looked like they did a lot last week. It's probably way better than it has been.
Yeah, that's good. Been down in Mattawa a few times. It's definitely, you can see. I mean, if you didn't realize how bad,
Yeah.
kind of nice not having it. It's 9 o'clock.
Good morning, it is 9 a.m. We're here for a public works update. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning. I'd like to start with our accomplishment updates from John.
Last week's accomplishments at solid waste, they did 2,657 tons, almost $29,000. On the roads, we had finished seal coating for the season. They did 7.7 miles to finish off both District 3 and Potato Hill Road going into the dunes. So that's all done. So now we're back to everybody's grading, rock breaking, gravel replacement, taking care of some of those things that got missed or left behind. Also, some bridge repair. They were down on those Bailey bridges in Royal City, tightening up boards. They did a bridge repair on a hole in the Stratford Road Bridge. They did some inspections. District 3 is doing mowing. And the pipes on Stratford Road, the bridge crew is done with most of their part of the backfill and compaction. Today, they're starting with the first lift of paving. They're going to do a 2-inch lift of hot mix across those pipes, and then the bridge crew will go back in and put in guardrail once we're done with the paving. That's everything on accomplishments. Any questions?
Nope. Thank you, John. We're just saying, keep going on a conference, keep going, keep going.
Our next item, update on West Shore Drive. We're still going out, meeting with landowners and getting permits to work on their property for fixing driveways. Still tentatively September before the contractor is back to work on those. But Dave and Todd are still going out every Tuesday and Thursday to meet with landowners.
How many approvals do they have so far?
I think the number is 16 or 18.
And they need like 58.
I believe it's 71.
Okay.
But I do believe, from what I understand, that of course people are talking, and so people are expecting them. So, and they're able to get some contact information for landowners that we don't have. So it's been good to communicate with people and get ahead of it a little bit and get information on how to contact other landowners as well that don't necessarily live there or aren't there during the workday, so we can make those contacts.
And I'm not aware of any no's yet. There was 2 people that wanted to think about it after they had all the information.
Any other questions on West Shore?
Nope. Well, I'm sure I will, but no.
Yeah. Next is Stratford Road. They're still dealing with soft spots once they broke through that crust. In fact, I think they had one this week that we're dealing with was 450 feet. So they're only getting about 2 a week done, as big as they are, and they're digging them down 2 feet deep and building them back up with base rock. And probably at this rate, we've got this week and probably next week to finish those before they can start working on subgrade. And that's if they don't run into any more issues with soft spots.
What's timeline on that project?
Well, if the next 2 weeks with working on those, base rock and maintenance, we're probably still first week of September before we get to shoot oil on it. And when we do the prime shot, any extra oil will continue north and cross those pipes. That was part of our seal coat area anyway. We just couldn't do it during that part. So we'll just cap that HMA with a seal coat. And we always have extra. You can't order the exact amount for the prime and second shot. Anything we have left over on the second shot will go south on Stratford as well and cover that. Put an extra seal on it.
Are you planning to repair those pipes this year or next year?
They're done.
Oh, are they?
That's what we just finished doing.
Okay. I haven't been that way since you started.
Yeah, that's what they're starting to patch today. And then once they're done with that, they'll put the guardrail back up. And
I went that way, I don't know, a month ago. She was a little bouncy.
they got quite a bit of material out. We're optimistic.
Short of pulling the pipes completely out and starting from the ground up.
Yeah.
This is our
I just
best
meant the
time.
road in general. It was all torn up. It was gravel.
Yeah. Well, that's, like I said, they got it all final processed yesterday with rock, and the HMA is going down right now, so. Any other questions?
So the invoice for 619, that's the vehicle you guys decided last week to just surplus and not replace.
We can't afford it. We can't afford it. Yes.
Well, I was working with Mandy, and there's gonna be a way, the money that's been paid into that, since it's not being used on a new vehicle, we can use that to pay your bills for like the van, even the cost of
Oh.
619 through July.
Okay.
We just have to have a way to show that that's what we used it for. And I don't have that yet, but Mandy was okay with it. I'll work with her to figure out how to show it, so.
And thanks for sending the list of other vehicles, because we have a huge list of vehicles that I don't know what this, we should have brought it up at our elected official department head luncheon.
It's pretty packed.
We have
agenda
a lot
yesterday, but-
that are not, but we have a lot of vehicles that are not utilized, fully utilized, where they're way under the $10,000 or 10,000 mile mark.
And I would like to discuss it with the other department heads and electeds. You know, like we said last week, we are supportive of supplying cars, maybe getting a couple, using that, where they have the app where you can check them out. Jim just asked us about using the Expedition next week or the week after.
Yeah, I told him to call. I'm like,
Yeah.
because they were gonna rent one. I'm like,
No, he's gonna pick it up on Wednesday and
Okay.
bring it back on Monday, so that's a good thing. And like I say, Public Works is supportive if we run out of vehicles of getting a couple that everybody can check out. So
I think the budget is to the point where we really need to look at the vehicles that we're using, the vehicles that we're not utilizing fully, and just kind of do a merge, and it'll be a big savings.
And we've done that. We surplus 12 pieces of equipment last year that we didn't replace, so.
A lot of departments saying that, well, our people get attached to a piece of car.
Well,
Well,
they
if
would
it's
like
only
to
getting
personally pay for
5,000
that.
miles a year, that,
Well,
but
some
that's
of
not
them
for
are
us
not
to
even
decide.
5,000, some are just a couple thousand.
Yeah,
It's just a
one,
car.
yeah, one of them, they say they need it for transport, but actually Chelan County and the sheriff's department do all the transporting. That car doesn't do any actual transporting, so, but
No, I think we need to.
It'd be a good discussion topic at our next luncheon.
619, is that the broke down escape?
I mean, we drove it back there. It's
Yeah,
not-
the office that's the one that,
Yeah, it didn't sound real popular. They weren't super, we don't think it's reliable, so.
Well, we had a battery that went, I don't know what the other issue was.
of course, I don't remember.
And then Jason Collings came along with us to give you an update on the phase 4 construction out of solid waste.
Welcome, Jason.
Thank you. Some visual aids for you. So Shamrock Paving is the contractor. So far, they've hauled all the existing materials out. Stockpiled it was about 41,000 cubic yards they hauled out of there. Last year, when we rented that rock truck, County Forces hauled, it was 160,000 cubic yards. And estimated we saved $600,000 doing that ourselves. So that was a positive. Shamrock's finished the bedding layer for the liner system. It's placed and compacted. They're currently working on the liner system install. They're 1/3 done with that, the liner and the clay liner. The gas collection line outside the landfill has been connected all the way around now and is active.
Just what Jason, so they're doing a clay liner and a permeable vinyl liner?
Yeah, they put a bedding layer down, a compacted bedding layer, and then it's a geosynthetic clay liner. They're meshed together. There's a clay liner and a HDPE. It's a plastic liner as well. And then after that, they'll actually install what they call that, a leachate. It's like a drainage liner. Almost looks like a laundry room floor mat. It's about that thick, so it slows that leachate down as it goes down and it doesn't fill up with rock. The leachate collection layer material has been hauled and stockpiled, so there's a layer they'll put on the liner itself. It's just a sandy silt that's stockpiled there. It isn't placed yet. What they still need to do, they still need to finish installing the liner system. They still need to install the composite drainage layer. They still need to install the HDPE leachate collection pipe and the drain rock around that pipe, which is a 1-inch drain rock. And then they build the stormwater berms in between to compartmentalize the cells. And then they have to connect all the inactive gas lines we've installed ourselves to the system. So they project their finish date end of September at this point. It's estimated. That's all I
And
have.
once phase 4 is filled, then you can start to fill over the entire top of all 4?
Yes, phase 3 isn't quite to the top yet, so we'll fill in both at first. We can only put curbside garbage because it's just bag garbage. If we put any construction debris, it could puncture the liner. So we'll put just compactors. So we'll fill in 2 places. Then we'll fill this up to 3. Once we get both of those up to 1 and 2, yes, we'll go another 3 or 4 lifts. So there's quite a bit of room left there.
Okay.
In the new cell, you have to do 10 feet of curbside, right? Isn't it about 10 feet?
They say
before-
5, but it's hard to hit a 5 number. Yeah, so it's 5 to 10 feet. Yeah, our layers are always 10 feet. But it takes a long time to put 10 feet of curbside trash in there. Take almost a year if you get the full 10 feet.
And that's one lift?
Yeah, one lift is 10 feet, yes. and then we put a foot of rock material.
And then you said there's about four
Four
lifts over the top.
Once all of them are level, all four faces, yeah, we'll have four. It's just a guess, 4 lifts. You'll run out of space up there. So
So we have like maybe 9 years. Maybe.
Yeah, I think we can make it to 2035.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay. But that's a tight timeline still.
Yes, sir.
We don't want to wait till then. but-
No, well, I'll
We
be
do
already
not.
going.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. I went out last Thursday and watched them. They quit because of the lightning, but they weld those, 12 or 15 foot wide rolls? And then they basically weld them together with a small air pocket in between. So once they get it welded, they puncture that and they fill it with air, and then it has to hold that air for 5 minutes, that pressure, to make sure the welds are good. They also tear it this way, they tear it this way to make sure they hold. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, because I was wondering on the sides how they were getting those to the longer ones. Well, do they do the slope and then, or is it
Yeah,
one big sheet?
they were
Yeah.
taking it down the slope, and
Okay.
then, so the end of the roll was where it was flat. And then
Okay.
they would weld it going back up the hill and then roll the next one out.
I was wondering how they were getting that, okay, welding it.
And they're a newer company, so they're a little bit slower, but they
They'll get a lot of practice.
they should be done in hopefully the end of next week. They'll be done with the liner portion.
Wow.
They haven't given you an update because there wasn't much to see, big hole. But any questions on that?
Yeah, just the acquisition. Do we have anything moving or planning for that?
Planning, yes. Moving, no. Tried it again yesterday. That it for phase 4?
Yep.
The patent crosswalk we talked about a couple weeks ago. We're having some issues. One of the ramps needs to be, well, basically redone, pulled out and redone. We think possibly the bridge crew can do that, but we are working with the city. The city has agreed to paint the sidewalk for us, or the crosswalk. And we're gonna install the signs. So hopefully that'll be, our goal is to get that done before school starts. Did you have any questions on our consent items?
Is that the crosswalk by the gas station?
The Dollar General.
Westover.
Yeah.
Nope, I had no question. I had to look to see what you had on your list.
Well, the one was, it's that litter grant that was up there about 3 weeks ago, and we actually found out the day of our meeting, we had to pull it. We'd put in for like a rear board that went on the pickup, so we could do litter crew ahead, but we could also, don't litter messages. Then ecology, that was the reason it was held up. So Joan Seavercrop removed that, and now it's able to go through. So, and it's just authorization for me to go to sign it on Eagle.
Does Crosswalk have lights?
Yes. They're similar to what we have around the courthouse campus here.
Okay.
And we've been working with Blair on that as well for his ADA expertise.
It's nice having Blair here.
Yes, I agree, Cindy. Is there any other questions?
On the Potato Hill development, did you find anything new on that?
Did you
The
like?
Dune-Lakes
Um,
development?
No, he was working on it. Has he completed it, do you know?
I don't know that he's completed it or not. I know he's been back and forth with the contractor, but not. I think part of the problem was their engineer kept sending in uncompleted stuff to be reviewed. And our guy kept telling him, send me the completed once and for all. but it's been kind of a back and forth struggle. But I haven't heard anything in about a week on it.
We are conducting interviews starting at 10 o'clock today for that development review engineer. So that'll help.
Is that the one with development services?
Yeah, it'll report to planning. But stuff like this is their primary responsibility.
Sounded like there were a couple good candidates.
Yes, there are.
And then are you working on the contracted engineer still?
We really aren't. We need Dave to be going out there. WashDOT has approved him doing it.
Yeah, for that, yeah.
Yep. So we're not positive how long that's going to take, so we kind of put that on hold. We are actively recruiting, I think, on Prothman now for an engineer. Spoke to one yesterday that is going to ask for a couple days to think about it. So. Anything else?
No, I did send you, I had a complaint. I think it was the road graders were not in operation. One of my neighbors in
Mine
District 3.
Southwest.
Yeah,
Good guess.
in that neck of the woods.
That happens sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
But Beverly Burke,
he'll happily run them for us, he said.
put him on our crew.
No, we have enough of those people on our crew.
And I still haven't had a chance to meet with the lady at West Shore. We've been playing phone tag a little
Okay.
bit, but I'm gonna call her as soon as I'm done interviewing, so.
But we do have some members of the public here. I'm assuming that,
To your point on the one complaint, he ran his tractor, somebody ran their tractor with a piece of equipment down the road
okay, with
on
the,
their own. And so he continues to hit our road with his end guns continuously. So he doesn't have a lot of room to complain.
okay.
He
Was
just
it,
likes to
were they
complain.
bleeding the road or was it a piece of ag equipment that
No,
did-
it was
just
dragging the road to try to,
moved it out?
yeah.
Okay,
But we have record of doing it like 2 weeks prior to that.
Uh-huh.
So
okay.
I think he likes to hear himself complain more than anything else. But he doesn't mind causing the issues with his end guns. So
Noted. District 3 has some characters. I do have some characters.
yeah.
So, Rob, I don't know, typically we don't have public comment, but I'm assuming these individuals are here for something to do with Public Works.
Yeah, we normally do not have public comment during this time, but you guys are welcome to.
Perfect.
You only have a few minutes, I would say, but please state your name.
I'm Marlene Presser, and I am a homeowner on West Shore. And I'm put together with other neighbors, project. So homeowners on West Shore attended past meetings where information about the project was presented. However, it is now apparent that some information was omitted and has caused great upset and harm. The lack of transparency about the project details has resulted in gross errors on behalf of all parties mentioned above. And that's Grant County officials, the city of Moses Lake, Wheeler Excavation, and subcontractors. This is a multifaceted and complex issue. People are going to get hurt by the dangerous roadway and driveway conditions that are left to negotiate. All liability will be the responsibility of the parties named above if you fail to address this matter sufficiently and in a timely manner. The men and women who live on West Shore are more than dissatisfied, and we have convened a survey that provides data relative to the specific problems that have resulted from this project. All neighbors are concerned and have come together to compile our experiences for you to better understand the horrible experience detailing the unacceptable planning and workmanship. Subsequently, volunteers visited neighbors door to door to understand the needs to be done to correct the mistakes and damage to the specific areas addressed in the surveys. Please find many surveys attached in addition to those that have been mailed to you, which I'm giving to you today. To begin, the people impacted on West Shore reconstruction project require all of the above officials to provide and notify our community of a public meeting to include full disclosure of this project within the next 20 business days from today. We require all of the above named parties responsible for this project to read each homeowner survey thoroughly to comprehend the specific responses to each homeowner. We require all of the above named parties responsible for this project to meet with each homeowner to inspect how their property was damaged. Hang on. And we require all of the above named parties responsible for this project to agree with each homeowner how the property will be fixed to the homeowner's satisfaction. We expect and demand an accountability through truthfulness and utmost integrity to make each community homeowner whole in this matter and to complete this project with high-quality plans, materials, and workmanship. Our actions to address these concerns and corrections to fix the problem areas should leave West Shore Drive looking as beautiful and fully functional as it was imagined to be. And attached are all of the surveys completed by volunteers of West Shore.
Have any of you had the public works engineer come by yet, of the four of you?
Nope,
Okay. Well, he's working, I believe, north to south. I understand
we haven't seen
correctly.
them. I
Yeah.
know who they are, and
Yeah.
they have not showed up.
Okay, they will.
And I would say out of every single house that we've gone to, there may be 10 people that are satisfied with their driveway, but it's not a pretty situation.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they,
So then the last time I had met with him, he had, I believe, 8 of 10 signatures of people he had met with for the repairs that they were offering to do. So hopefully just hold tight and they will come to you guys and
What's the
keep
guy's
working on
name?
it. Dave Brand.
Dave Brown.
Brand.
Bryn,
Bren,
BREN.
is he the guy that in the public meeting that we had at Pillar
Yeah,
Rock
but-
said that they were building these sidewalks for the school kids to walk on?
Mhm.
I mean, I don't like to be lied to. I'm old. You know, I just watch the circus. I don't ride the rides. But you know what? I've lived there on West Shore since I was 5 years old. And I was told that my driveway, which I had paved many years ago, would be paved right up to the road, you know. And I just got a new knee this year. It's a hell of a job for me to get my garbage can up that gravel. I can't do it, you know. I don't like that. I don't like to be told. And Todd, I love that guy. He drives that red pickup with the yellow light on it.
Is it Todd
He
and
said-
Dave that are going out?
Todd's a great guy. And he said, Mary, because I asked him, I said, you know, I like watching you guys work out here. And I said, but I want to make sure that you're going to pave that because it's hard for me to get my garbage can. I live alone. And I said, I got to get my garbage can out there. He said, it'll be paved all the way to the road. You won't have any problems. So that's what I'm waiting on. And I don't like the steepness of it. You know, I mean, you guys wanted to build walking paths out in, I farm, you know, so I have tractors. So you want walking paths, that's fine. I don't know who's gonna shovel the snow off those paths when the winter time comes, because I'm not. I wanna make sure that everybody understands that. If they think that I'm gonna clean those sidewalks so that people can walk, I'm not doing that. I don't understand why this project happened because, before we built our house out at the farm, we lived in Pelican Point. And we had lots of kids there. And there's no sidewalks out there. But out here, there's sidewalks and there's no schools. That man, that guy that you're talking about, he stood there right in Pillar Rock and said, we're building these. It was in his letter, I believe. He said, these sidewalks so the kids can get to the school. So I called the school and I said, hey, are you building, that's where we used to have alfalfa in that field down there. Are you gonna build a school there? He said, no, they haven't even bought the property. They don't even, Shannon was his name. So you know what, I don't know who to believe, because I keep getting all these.
Sidewalks are tied to the grant funding.
Yeah, if you can get money, spend it. It doesn't matter what you spend it on.
Well, I'll jump in. It would have been a lot easier not to do sidewalks, but because it's in, I believe it's in the urban growth area.
Yeah.
Which we have to, when we do a road improvement project, we have to work with the city because someday that will probably be annexed into the city. So when we put that road in, trust me, we would have rather.
I'm
not
sure,
put the
Todd
sidewalk
even
in.
said that too, he said, the county isn't into putting in
No,
sidewalks.
and this is not something, but we were pretty much dictated, that's what we had to do. So
Because you got the grant money. And I don't know who that guy was, evidently, I don't remember voting on it, but evidently we
well,
got the
most of our
money.
roads are either grant, they come from the state. Very few roads that we have in the county are actually paid by the taxpayers in Grant County. We get state and federal dollars that pay for most of that, which in turn they dictate how the street, I know on the roundabout, we wanted rolled curbing. We worked really hard for that rolled curbing.
That
The
would have
state came
fixed
back and
everything.
said, you can't do that. You are not allowed to do that. So there's some things that we just
Yeah, sure,
cannot
sure.
do that we would.
Well,
we would
I
like
just
to.
think, like I said, I watch the circus now. I don't ride the rides because it doesn't seem, it's crazy how it works, and it's really sad because now then, I have a son who lives behind the golf course there. And, he doesn't really like going down West Shore because it's congested. I mean, I have to stop and wait behind a what do you call it, a FedEx truck because I can't get around it. I got to wait for him to deliver his packages because there's a yellow line. I can't cross it to pass him. And my son's got to get to work. So he's taking road, I believe that's F now, F. And more traffic is going on F. And it's really sad, shit, we lost somebody last night, fatality accident, Road 4 and Road F. Bam, there's been more accidents in that road than, because, it's sad. It's a real sad situation.
Living on that road, we see that, and being in the construction road and underground construction in my whole life, or for my whole life, the whole problem for all the driveways is they raised the road. The road used to be level with everyone's driveways and house properties. Then they came in and raised the road and put everyone but maybe 4 in a hole now. So now we all have to come up out of our driveways onto the road. And they gave us a 4-foot apron where the gravel's like this and it's soft gravel. So when you try to go out, your tires just spin.
Well, and this is part of the problem that we will be fixing. We
You
have
will
a-
be
But why
fixing
did we raise the
you.
road? I mean, if we wouldn't have raised the road, we wouldn't have these
We
other
actually
problems.
are 2 minutes into our next meeting, so I just freaking kind of.
This
I'm
is a
glad
big
But
deal.
these
It
are,
is a
but
huge deal.
it's a huge deal for almost every single homeowner on that road. Now we're all in a hole and some people can't get their vehicles or trailers out of their own driveways because now the road's raised and we bought them out.
It's created a lot of
And
dangerous
unsafe
situations.
to get your
Very
own
unsafe,
mail
very
because
unsafe.
now you have to stand
It's
in the
gonna
road.
The truck just about
to
took my
open up your
head off
mailbox.
just because I was trying to get my mail. I was on the sidewalk, but I had to lean over to get my box, and the truck didn't care. And their mirror missed my head by an inch.
Yeah, that's,
Someone's gonna get hurt or killed.
Yeah, it's
it's not
Yeah.
safe.
And now we've created a 80-mile-an-hour racetrack
Yep.
with beautiful paved
But I
road.
love
that-
watching the guy on the motorcycle yesterday, he was chasing somebody down the road.
Or
But I wish it had been on the other road where
before the fatality happened.
Or
Yeah.
10 sheriffs. that
Well,
go 100
thank you
miles
for
an hour.
listening to our gripes.
We are
We are working
working on
on it.
it.
We'll work faster.
Please, it's a shit
Don't
show.
make it easy.
Well, I'm hoping that's the
And your
plan.
thanks, sir.
That's
That
the
wasn't me.
plan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Thank you. Thank you for coming in.
All right, it is 9:34 a.m. We're gonna roll into our facilities and tech services update.
Sorry, Tom, for
Don't be.
kind of bleeding over into your meeting.
Hi,
I'm
Tom.
more important than anything we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, one of the barb. Okay.
I don't think this one is any quieter.
So I'll get started right away and then I'll pass it off. The bulk of the information is going to be coming from Kevin today. He's got a big update for you. A little bit from Joe, but I think Kevin's going to take the air out of the room today probably. But yesterday, it seems I spoke too soon about the Department of Justice. While the scope change, which I don't believe was even needed for the single point of entry, was approved. So they decided the way the judge wrote up the grant that it was incorrectly articulated to the Department of Justice, the work that we were doing. So they required me to do a scope change. So the email I received was that our scope change that I wrote has been approved. But then I received a message in the comments section to read the comments in the comments section. And the comment in the comments section was to send a detailed budget, again, this is gonna be the third time, with no instruction on who to send it to. So I took a 4-page Excel spreadsheet, very finely detailed, and sent it to the grant administrator of the DOJ, who sent me an email back saying, I will help you with this when I get back into the office. So that's where we are on that grant. I am waiting for them. With that, so I'm sorry for misspeaking yesterday, but with that, I'll turn it over to Kevin for an update on facilities, both Wheeler Road and the lost tree out in front of the courthouse.
Well, there's a lot
Tree,
more than
I
that.
didn't even notice we lost a tree.
Yeah, somebody decided to break it in half.
Thursday night, so caught them.
Was it kids? You can't just delete half of a story.
It's a jack wagon,
He's
a little more than a kid.
tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, so it came in Friday morning, I walked out there and I thought maybe our buddy that likes to help straighten up the trees that helped out and did something weird. And so we went back and checked the video and what we found out is that there was a guy that came off a road E back here, came across First Avenue, then down and across in front of the jail, came around the side, saw the tree, kind of walked past it and turned right around and then decided just to bull rush it and snap it off at the base. So,
Do we know who it is?
yeah, we got a hold of the City of Ephrata Police and they came down, took a report, and they've identified the person. Right now I'm getting costs together and trying to find a replacement tree for it. We may have to wait until next spring to get a decent replacement. So took a ride yesterday to look at what they had at Emerald Desert Nursery for ginkgos left over, and I wouldn't put them in my yard, so I don't think we'll put them out here. And so now I just gotta get all the costs together, give it to the police department. They have the videos, they know who the individual is, and we'll just figure out the best tree to get back in that location and follow up with the police on what happened to the guy that thought he should break a tree off. A lot of things going on, like I said. So next week we'll be down one technician here. We're gonna have Eric go down and help out Fair next week. So that'll impact what we get done around here. We also had an individual turn in their 2-week notice on a maintenance 4. So John Hanold will be leaving the county and we'll have a maintenance 4 open position as of August 18th. So,
Where was he at?
excuse me,
Where was he located?
he was here.
Oh,
So I've already got in touch with HR and they are putting that posting up and we'll hopefully can find a candidate and get that backfilled as quick as possible. So Wheeler Road, so still working on that parking lot. Prosecuting attorneys have the documentation and we're looking at that to see what the city can actually force us to do. I did get a letter into the engineering department over at the city of Moses Lake, talking to one of the engineers over there, they seemed a lot more open to leaving sidewalk and landscaping, curb and gutter out of there because of all the utilities that run through that space. So hopefully I'll get an answer on that in the next couple of days. And if they sign that waiver, then we're basically down to what we're doing in the parking lot. So basically EV chargers and landscaping that they want to have done in parking lots, which to me, I'd be like those people. I don't really like the landscaping in parking lots. It's like a tire crusher.
Well, and we're gonna lose parking spaces, but on
Yes.
the EV charger, that's gonna be financially burdensome because it's not just, you can't just tack one to the wall. We're gonna have to hire an electrical engineer. We're gonna have to look at the loads on the building, the expected loads of those things, and then what it's gonna take to get that service put in. So it's gonna be expensive. And it's to me, an absolutely ridiculous thing that the city of Moses Lake thinks they can just force people to do that.
So, yeah, and so we're hoping to get the waivers on that. And we know we're probably gonna give up some spaces for a stormwater swale in there to begin with, because it's a property in a hole and everything kind of is graded towards that parking lot. So we have engaged Great West Engineering, and they are working on sending a proposal over to give us that layout of a swale and how big that would be.
I think it'd be worth looking at. I mean, if the city pushes back and says we have to do everything and we're looking at $500,000 or $700,000, whatever to do all this work, we should look at the fact that they should bring back their own municipal court. We should stop providing court services for their population.
And asked them that question if they were willing to participate in the cost of this, and absolutely not. And it was like, well, it's kind of an odd, I guess, thought process, but anyway. I did reach out to Kaufman Engineering, the other engineering firm. I haven't got anything back on getting the windows designed to put into the side of Wheeler Road, so I've contacted another engineering firm. They're putting their costs together, what they think it will be to do that. So there will have to be a site visit where they go up into the attic and look at the trusses and line up the studs as they go down the wall, so they can do as-builts to figure out the loading and how that needs to be designed. So haven't forgot it. It's just one of those things, again, just trying to get
It's
somebody.
not a critical.
Yeah, well,
They don't want to grow.
yeah, so keep plugging away at it until we can get somebody to give us that. It's again, it's a building, there's no drawings on it. I think some of the companies are backing away because it's just one of those unknowns, and you could open up a can of worms once you get into it.
Guaranteed.
Well, finding that out, right? Wheeler Road, we got that bathroom put back together, and it's all functional again.
Thank you.
Yes. The one thing there was an email put out about that. Andy McGuire was a little upset that nobody had notified him. I did call and talk to him and say, well, the request came from your folks, so I assumed you knew about it. So my bad, I didn't communicate that we were coming in to do it, but it was communicated to me that the request came from your people, that they did not want to share the restroom with the public. And he goes, oh, so.
Nicely done.
Whoops. But I said I'll be better about it next time. Okay. So district court has also got a grant out there for access control on additional doors. So basically they're looking to have access control or card readers put on all the judges' chambers doors. So we got Convergent walkthrough, and we'll be getting the bid for that pretty quick. Alexa poll training, the guys are all working on that. That's about 7 to 9 hours of training, so it takes about a day for them to plow through it, but they're picking away at it. They're doing good. Can't say the same for myself, and I'll get there, but
Oh, you and me both.
I told you, you can read faster when you start that button, the start button, because they read it to you. You can drag it all the way, not to the end, but to the last 5 to 10 seconds. Because you read it, I just gain more when I read than when somebody's telling me. And you're just sitting there. And I told Decor, I admitted to Decor, I get a little anxiety just sitting there like, okay, let's get to the next page. I don't have time to sit here and
let it time out.
just
Okay,
have fun.
so I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you. we have
And then
80,
wait, when it's a full-on video, you can increase the speed on the video so they can talk like 1.5 to 2 times faster.
okay,
I learned that on the leadership, I know, but this is critical because it'll save you a ton of time. Because some of them talk normal, some of them talk very slow. Again, I was getting anxiety when just trying to pull it out. So just speed it up.
I remember that trick too, because yeah, it gets you, if you're twiddling your thumbs, it
Yeah,
just
because you're
makes it that
sitting
much
there
worse.
for, it's a waste of time. So feel free to
Okay.
speed it up.
Well, thank you. I will take advantage of that.
Rob, have you found that?
It doesn't work on mine.
I'm gonna get back on there. Okay,
Well, regardless, we'll get through it one way or another.
speed it up, yes.
So there's 3 ADA issues working, that are working through in the courthouse. 2 are for the prosecuting attorney's office and 1 for the treasurer's office. Yeah, we're just picking through those, getting them, set up so that, yes. Working on the museum, the ADA access path. And so tried to get some bids from some contractors and everybody, again, it's just it's a small project, so it's hard to get people to come look at these things. What we're going to do after fair is we're gonna borrow the mini excavator that they have down there. And then we're gonna dig that out, dig it down, and we'll order up about 1.5 yards of concrete, form it up. And Chris said he would come up for a day and help us pour that and finish it off. So we will have a poured sidewalk going across that driveway.
Beautiful.
Museum reader board, the footing is poured for that and just waiting on Marshall sign for install. Talked to the electrician to make sure that they're talking on when the install is gonna happen, so that's coordinated. I haven't got any feedback and on the final date, so, again, just waiting on Marshall sign to complete that and or give us a time when they are going to be able to complete that. Courthouse staff is starting today on the roof down at the museum. So there was the doctor's office and the dentist office had leaks in them. They have metal roofs on there, but the fasteners were backing out. So when you put the metal roof down, there's supposed to be like a little rubber gasket that seals. For some reason, the fasteners are backed out, and that's where the leaks are. So we're going to work on getting that tightened down, replacing fasteners as needed. They're using the genie lift as a tie-off point, basically. So tried to find something to tie off on those things on a raised rib roof like that, but there really isn't anything except screwing back down into it. And so I think the genie lift is rated for a tie-off point, so we're just going to use that. Another fun little deal we had was helping Corey in the jail with the steamer in the kitchen. The steamer is old and obsolete. You can't even find a model online anymore. We got an Element and got it in there and got it working. But again, it's one of those jobs that should probably take an hour, and it ended up taking, 6-7 hours as you try to find parts, talk to people to find parts, and
It'd be nice to have all new parts.
it'll be nice to have all new parts. Working on items found in the fire alarm system inspections. So we did that, about a month ago. And so we got batteries we got to replace. There are some smoke alarms that weren't functioning correctly. And for some reason, they found that a flow switch and a pressure switch were reversed. So I got to go back through that. That doesn't make sense to me that somewhere in a year, some sensors decided to switch themselves. So. Renew, a lot going on at Renew as well. So the submittal of qualifications for the remodel for the main building. Again, when they came back, it was $153,000 for the engineering and architecture cost to support that project. That was above what we could have as a limit, which was $50,000 for the architectural and engineering on-call roster. So we're getting that put together and I'll be sending that out, and hopefully that's done. We'll try to get that done by next week for sure. We were hoping for last week, but just other things have gotten away, and we'll just keep working away on it. The main roof on the Renew building, that needs some repairs as well, so the request for bids was sent out for that. That should be next week when we open those bids, and we'll see what that cost is gonna be. They did have a RFP that was open last week for the Grand Coulee parking lot for crack sealing it, and no bids were submitted. And it's, again, one of those projects that's not very big. Maybe. See, that might be an option. But no, he sent it out to the entire roster, the MRSC roster, and nobody responded.
They're busy this time of year. They're doing highway work, so it's hard to find somebody this late in the year.
And they're working on the remodel for the Quincy facility as well. So they're gonna do some work in the kitchen and the exterior and kind of modernize that building a little bit. And then also this week at Renew, in the Crisis Solutions building, they were working on the third phase of the warranty floor replacement. So I don't know if you remember that the original floor that had been put in about 4 years ago, starting to lift. We were able to get that replaced under warranty. So this should be completed this week.
Saw a guy working on it yesterday when I was looking at cameras.
Perfect. And then they had a power outage last week at Renew for about 3 hours on Thursday when the lightning storm went through and it took out a pole. So little fun there, getting everything all reset and the fire dampers put back in place. We already talked about the tree out front. Sent a couple guys to Quincy this morning and yesterday morning to set up a tent for an event that was there.
Helping out the city of Quincy.
So got that
They
going.
rented it, so. Wasn't free.
Perfect. We got the truck from Public Works for up at the new jail, so we've got that. We got it for $8,000, which seems to be a pretty good deal. There's a couple things we gotta fix in it, but for the most part, I don't know that you're gonna go find a 2016 truck.
I see it on our agenda today.
Yeah, so, yeah, perfect. And I'm assuming you're going to approve that surplus.
Yes, of
Okay.
course I am. Of course I am.
That's the plan.
It's not circled, so it should be good.
All right, perfect. Prosecuting attorney's office is asking for a remodel in his office, so we'll be starting that the week after fair. And what else we got going on?
Is he officially the guy now? He's been sworn in?
Yesterday at
Okay.
8:15.
Okay. So yeah, there's some things he wants moved around and the walls repainted and holes patched and some shelves removed. And we'll start that the week after fair. Working on limbo for the new jail, so starting to enter assets in for that. And that kind of piggybacks onto, we had a meeting with Mac Miller, who was a mechanical contractor up at the jail. And so we'll start, they were offering a service plan. We haven't seen the cost or what that entails. They're gonna send a proposal over. When we get that, obviously we'll have to decide if they're the right fit or if we're gonna go find somebody else to help out. Yeah, well, I think for 1 year, we probably should get help with it and figure out what it is.
Well, they have to be able to prove all the preventative maintenance procedures. And
Yeah.
There's monitor and verification that has to happen.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot there, so it'd be interesting to see what that proposal comes back as. We also, so keying on the kennel, you would think a kennel, to put a key in it would be easy. But as things, since that came in at the end, it should have been one of the first things that should have been keyed because of how they code their keys. So I think we're just gonna look at putting access control out there and then having them, because the problem is that they wanna have outside entities like Moses Lake, K9, yeah, they can bring their animals in there as well. So for us to issue a county key to them and then have it lost could be a big problem. So what we're gonna look at doing is just getting access control, give them a badge. That way, if anything ever happens, we just turn it off and.
It's controlled access to get back to that point anyway through 2 separate gates, I believe.
Yes. But anyway, again, something that seemed like it should have took an hour else and we're a half a day into it. Helping TS with UPS, and we have more to go, correct?
2 more. And I don't know exactly when we're gonna schedule those, but I know everyone's stupid busy right now, so it's not gonna be in the immediate future.
Okay.
It's probably, I'm thinking like October, well, September, October sometime, probably.
What I was thinking is buying a couple extra cords and making them up ahead of time and wiring them, and then whenever somebody has time, they could just, because what we're doing now is we're pulling the UPS out, unwiring it,
Yep.
and then wiring it back to the other one. So that's the
I am
biggest time.
totally okay with that,
Okay,
as long as they'll pass through the access
The channel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I got zero issue with that. That's solid.
perfect.
And then it's just plug and play, literally.
Plug it in and away you go. All right. So just a couple maintenance stats out there. In the last 90 days, maintenance has closed out 1,448 work orders. And the leaders all time for work orders is Abel with 1,360, followed by Ricky Avia with 1,333, and then Corey at the fairgrounds with 939.
He's moving.
Yes, he is.
He is. All right, Joe, you get 5 minutes.
Awesome. So I met with the new prosecutor. We talked about quad replacement stuff and asset management. He didn't understand how that worked, and now he does. So, and then I'm trying to do him a solid on a few things. So in return for that solid, I asked if he could please refine the process for the civil review of agreements with terms.
Yeah.
And I explained to him that we had paid a couple bills ridiculously late last year. One of them was 5 months late. And we would definitely like to avoid that in the future. And he said he would investigate that. So, yay.
Good fresh look at that.
Yeah, I think that's on our, he will be here today.
So another thing we're going to be doing in the month of August, because licensing on the old ones runs out in September, we're doing all new cameras here at the courthouse complex. So we got a capital request last year for camera improvements. So we'll be using that and quad combined to pay for that effort. So I've already ordered some stuff for it. The NVR is on its way. The new NVR will support up to 70 4K cameras on-prem. And it will do AI. So we will be able to look at objects of interest like people and vehicles. It's no licensing fees moving forward.
And it'll be easier to find people instead of staring at it for 4 hours.
Yes, like once you find a person ever, you just click on that person and then you say, find this, and it shows you everywhere they've ever showed up in the system for the time that we've got video.
It's
recorded.
amazing how many hours we spend scrubbing video looking for.
This will seriously accelerate that, so. There's new fiber gateway installed over at the new HRCS building. And I have in my office all of the new network hardware for that site, and I've been working on getting that put together and configured. Ricky is putting finishing touches on the fairgrounds this week. There were 2 final cameras that Chris and him were finally able to get wrangled into east of the rough stock pens there behind in the rodeo grounds. So I was helping Ricky with radios on that this morning. So those are going to be online soon. And then Ricky will be our staff member at fair this year. So he's like, I'm finishing it. He's like, I've been out there all year. I'm just going to go all the way through.
In case something comes up.
Yep. And we've got good working cameras for north and south. I've got both links to Jim. We've been recording for the last week. Everything is super stable now. I found a obscure setting that drastically improved the performance of those systems. So that was good. And then web stuff. Email. We've had 92,000 emails in the last 2 weeks, 12,000 blocked, quarantined, 1 virus email blocked. Web and Umbrella, we blocked 42,000 sites out of 53.2 million accessed. 81 blocks were categorized as security related. Of those, most of those sites were linked to phishing or malware. malware and phishing are up currently, and viruses are steady, and shields are still holding.
Shields are holding.
Yep. And then there's one thing here that I want you to read before I say anything about that, because I don't know if you want me to say anything about that yet.
Which part?
That right there, because I'm super proud of that, but I don't know if you want me to talk about that.
Well, I mean, you can talk about it, but I gotta look at that. I was surprised at that price, and we verified, right? We're on the hook for all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, then go for it. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's part of that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
But there was questions at the very beginning about who was supplying and who wasn't.
Oh, yeah. So
Roundabout.
that's been back and forth. So this is the acquisition of the majority of the networking hardware for the new jail.
Yeah.
And I finally found a vendor that will give us net 30 terms.
Yes.
I'm celebrating because
It's usually net 14, and it's really hard, especially in today's accounting world, to get a payment without a late fee.
and where we get most of this hardware is usually done with a credit card, and there was no way that was going to be a smooth process. We were going to have to do like micro purchases over the next
It's really hard.
3
And
to
then we
4 to
can't get
6
the bulk
months.
purchasing either, so.
Right. So we got bulk purchasing, we got a good deal on the price, we got all the things. I'm just super stoked about it.
When
So
you're talking about spending $125,000 on switches,
when I first added it up, I was in the 130s. So we're getting a better deal even, and they're happy to do it. So 3 to 5 weeks, we should have all of our stuff.
and again, it's not seen and people don't typically see it. I know we're running up against the time. Our security and electronics vendors that are part of the jail, Kaufman Engineering and the camera folks, continue to be incredibly impressed with the technical prowess of Grant County. They don't get to work with owners that understand this stuff, and they are typically trying to figure out what to provide. So we were able to work it out with them and say, we'll provide it because we know exactly what we need, want, how it's going to be set up. And they've been blown away. So it's been a really good collaboration.
When we first started, they're like, yeah, we were gonna do this, this, and this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
It's been a really good collaboration though. So it's been a lot of meetings. Those meetings have been going on for what, 7 months, 8 months?
Yeah, we've done a lot, so. And network config stuff for the HVAC side of things, I'll be delivering to Pat here by the end of the week. And Mac Miller, they get a chunk of block of stuff too, so we're gonna put all that on the HVAC network.
Huge favor. You guys probably don't see it, but we have 2 pictures that Public Works has dropped off a few months ago. Just wondered if we could hang them up right here.
Yeah.
They're kind of down on the ground about, and I don't know if that flag we should scoot it over, but.
Probably do it
consider
later on
over
this
down.
week when the hearing room's empty. So,
Yeah.
Get 'em up.
And then we also have a chair back here. I don't know whose chair it is.
We can get rid of it.
Thank you. I'm just trying to, when I'm looking at our camera and we have crap sitting in our cameras, just trying to up my game here, so it looks a little bit better.
Any questions for us?
So thank you for keeping everything looking great and moving smoothly. All of you.
You're welcome.
The door is out today.
I would like a minute or two. We have a,
Okay, we'll go into a brief recess until 10:05. Good morning, it's 10:05 and we are here for HR update.
Good morning, Commissioners. As a reminder, Decorah is out of the office this morning attending an event. We're going to start with public comment. Rob, if you want to do that.
Yes, I will open up the public comment. We have iPhone user and Anthony online. Caitlin? Barb?
It's me. Anthony, an iPhone guest. I'll allow you to speak if you would like to speak. Okay, that is a no.
All right.
Okay, next item on the agenda is labor relations. I'd like to request an executive session for about 5 minutes.
For negotiations.
Yes, labor relations.
How long?
5 minutes, please.
We will be going into executive session for 5 minutes, returning at 10:12 a.m., going in at 10:06 a.m. for negotiations, RCW 42.30.1404A.
are we out?
Yep, it is 10:12. We are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
All right. Item number 4, personnel disciplinary matter. I'd like to request another executive session for about 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll be going into executive session from 10:12 to 10:17 for personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F. It's 10:23. We're out of executive session. Do you want to extend? No?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay, position management. Let's start with veteran services. So this position was presented to PMRT yesterday. The proposed wage reclassification was for a band 13. Currently, it's at an 8 with no supervisory duties. So the job description does include supervision of staff. And then Decorah did a wage comparison, which is the very last sheet of your guys' packet, giving the standard 2.5 increase. This position would be reclassed at a band 13, step 1. Do the commissioners have any questions about this reclassification?
So what were the comparables that were used? The yellow highlighted?
Yeah, it's gonna be the ones in green.
Okay.
So Benton, Chelan,
Chelan is probably more of the Douglas should have one too, did we not?
Yes.
Because Chelan and Douglas are pretty comparable to what we have, because they actually run a few more things. They have like Hope Source and some of we have Hope Source now, but they kind of run a full, like a one-stop center. And
Sure.
we don't have the high end for that.
Yeah, it looks like they pay not a range, but just a flat amount.
Okay.
Douglas County does. Skagit, Lewis, Island, Walla Walla. Those are our current comparables. So when you add them up, it falls to a band 13 for that position. Mandy stated that funds were available, that the funding source would be the 105 fund.
Would just like to, I would like to, because I wasn't aware we were doing that. I don't know if Kevin asked for that, who asked for that. Review of it.
Yeah, I don't have those details.
Rob, did you ask for the review of it?
No.
I don't. Barb, do you know who?
Anthony is online. Would you like me to promote him so you can discuss
That would
this?
be great, yeah.
Okay, let me promote him. Okay, Tony is on.
Morning, Tony. Yeah, I was just, I guess, a little surprised on this. Were you the one that submitted this, or Kevin's not here?
I don't know if he's having a problem with his microphone, but between Kevin and Tony, they work together to submit that. Oh, you got it, Tony. Got it.
Yes. So yes, Kevin just asked me to review everything and change my job description to what it is now. And we talked about it. He said he's going to submit it for an increase. So I just did all the legwork for it, and he's the one that ended up submitting it to Decorah.
Okay. I just wasn't aware. So Kevin's not here, so if we could just hold this, have some discussion with Kevin. Then.
Yeah, absolutely. Robert, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it will be presented again next week. And there's Phil, which is great timing because the next position. Good morning. You gonna have a seat? Is the Corrections K-9 special assignment. This was reviewed by PMRT yesterday. Phil applied for and received opioid settlement funds that are available for the next 17 years. There was also discussion about utilizing 109 funds as well as.
What is the 109? The jail?
The 109 is the funding from INET, the
Okay.
seizure money.
Okay.
That's
Thank you.
being used specifically for.
Someday I will know all the.
I doubt that, but hey, that's a good thing.
The
lot
other
of 'em.
thought was funding it through donations,
Mhm.
like the canine in deputy sheriffs, the patrol division. They use donations as well. Do you guys have any questions about this position?
Yes, so I'm just curious, how did you find out that it was opened up? Because that the grants are going out.
So, and if I do the timeline correct in my head, it's right around April this year. We had discussed using Carillon as that third-party vendor
Okay,
to be
yeah.
able to facilitate the RFP and make sure
Mhm.
that the process
Okay.
was through and through. So they open it up through Carillon, and that's where everybody put in their proposals.
Okay.
And I learned through the process that,
Which it cracks me up that most of the people reviewing it are not requiring a 20-page, you know, when you said then you had to do an interview. So I'm like, gosh, on that committee.
oh yeah, a learning
It
lesson for
worked,
me.
it worked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the flow of
That's okay.
things.
You're fine.
No, you're good.
I'm glad we're getting it, using it in Grant County here.
Yeah.
This position does require bargaining authority, which we've already discussed. As there's going to be a stipend associated with this specialty assignment for costs associated with having a canine. Is the board ready to make a decision, or would you like to have further discussion?
Well, I think there's opioid funding out there, so I'm a yes, I'm moving forward.
Okay.
With that. Again, it just, we're getting a lot more than we thought we would get, so it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rob?
Yeah.
I think that was a yep.
Yes. Okay, so we will move that forward to bargain with the union. So you and I will continue to work together.
Beautiful.
Okay,
All right.
thanks, Phil.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Yeah.
We'll have a great rest of our day. As
Woo.
long as we're not arrested, as long as we're not arrested and we're over visiting you over there, we're having an awesome day.
Well, you know what, today's, you like tuna fish, today's tuna fish lunch, so.
She loves tuna fish.
Do
there
you?
go.
You do.
Me? My kids have never had a tuna fish sandwich and they're like, oh, they've had like fish sticks or whatever. I'm
If you
like,
would like, I can have a few packaged up,
You
brought
should.
over if you'd like.
That'd be wonderful.
you know, every now and then, like every 5 or 6 years, 7 years, I will crave a tuna fish sandwich, but we don't eat tuna fish. We don't eat mayonnaise at our house. So no chicken or fish sticks. But if I get a wild hair, I'll come see you.
All right, there you go. Thank you, guys.
Calling me tuna fish sandwich day.
You said if I get a wild hair.
If I get a wild hair,
What
yeah.
does that mean?
Like I just go off the edge and, you know, sometimes you get a wild hair, like I'm not gonna do anything tonight, I'm gonna just lounge on the couch. And then you get a wild hair and you're like,
You're gonna
let's
paint
go
the whole
out
house
tonight, let's live on the edge.
Oh, it's like an outlandish idea.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so item number 7, recruitment. The county administrator just wanted to give the board an update that Dan sent out notices to applicants per the board's direction last week about not interviewing until September. As far as I knew, nobody had responded. So that has been put on hold until September. The last item on the agenda, or second to last item on the agenda, is policy. So the board received Series 200 a few weeks ago from Decorah. Is the board ready to make a decision on that and move forward with approval?
Let me look at the 200. I thought we reviewed the 200. I
thought we
was looking at the
already
300.
approved that one.
We did review.
Okay.
We discussed some questions about emergency management. Cindy's, there was mention about an appointed.
Yeah, and I think I was fine with the answer that I had received.
Okay. I have
I
them.
don't have 300 level.
Yeah, they got sent out yesterday by Decorah. 300s for your guys' review. So I have 200 if the board is ready to approve this
We're ready
series.
to-
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you print me a 300?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The big one.
Cindy, you're good with the email that she
Yeah.
sent? Okay.
It's kind of faster on the email, then you can see the changes and.
Yeah.
Well, if I click through everyone. I feel like I'm just going rogue on our training, sorry.
What was that?
Our training is, I'm telling everybody to speed through the training. Have you done the training and
Yes.
you've had to sit through the pause of, after you read? I'm a reader, not a listener.
Yeah, I'm both visual and auditory, so it was helpful to me to listen and read at the same time. It goes a little bit slower, but yeah, I really enjoyed them. The egress one I think was my favorite, just because of, I just learned a lot in that one. The active shooter was a little bit intense, felt a little panicked with the sounds, but
I got one wrong
it was
because
good.
on that one. Because if somebody was quiet and there was you're just supposed to stay hidden. I would try to get out. I mean, it's just common, you just want to get out of there.
Sure.
So, I really try to run.
Yeah, so I enjoyed them. It's a time commitment for sure, but if you space them out.
If you do a little bit, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, so the last item is anything from the commissioners. Do you guys have anything for HR? Okay. That's all we had today.
Okay. Then we will go into recess until 11 a.m. We have a boards and committees update.
And I should be at our meeting tomorrow. I don't have any appointments tomorrow.
Good morning, it's 11 a.m. and we are here for a boards and committees update.
What's consent items? Okay. Good morning again. Consent agenda items. This wasn't able to be discussed today from the Board of Equalization, so I know that they're gonna have the recommendation to move those until next week. So just to give you a heads up on that.
And then reading I think it's was it the RCW or that it actually says that they can be paid while at their hearing, not. So we did talk about, I think if there's a scheduled time for them to come in, the group to come in, then they would be able to, if they wanted to come to like a work session, I think that would be a way to, if they would want to do that, but sounds like that's according to
The chair was on this morning to talk about it, and was gonna talk to you about it. So
Okay.
he's recommending to hold it to the next week. Okay, that was for my consent agenda items.
Okay,
And then
thank
the
you.
tourism bylaws are on consent also. I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but if you guys had any questions or anything like that. No. The next thing was the local GovU trainings. We talked with Decorah and Blair, as you guys had requested. They had said Blair's recommendation was for the paid board members only, so basically just BOE, to have those trainings. And Decorah seemed fine with that. I don't think we got anything
Planning
against
commission
that.
gets paid per diem as well.
But
Are we
is
done?
that,
The per diem is the same as isn't it the same as
Wait.
the BOE?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I didn't know, is that our?
No,
Okay,
it's
what do we- I
I
theirs,
don't wanna
but
say
if we're
pro-
talking
No, I don't wanna say
all,
problem, but is that our?
okay,
So Blair, I gave Blair a copy of the boards and committees
Mhm.
spreadsheet that I have, so he knows all of the boards and committees that are there. But I did tell him that if he had questions about certain ones, like the planning commission or like designated crisis responder, or whatever, the ones that we are not actively a part of, that there's a contact person listed
Okay.
for him to reach out to.
okay. I
So when
thought you meant in general for all of the boards and committees, but
I-
you're only the ones that we,
yeah, I thought that was,
sorry, my
No,
misunderstanding.
no, so I guess then with that, I would think that Blair and Decorah would be reaching out to those boards and committees, the ones that we are not part of, that we don't do stuff for.
Well, I think there's still discussion on what they need to take, we're talking about the classes, what they need to take, I don't think we've come to
Well, I think Decora's response was like for sure the sexual harassment training. And then Blair was going to be reaching out to the individual boards.
Cyber.
Yes, to see if they even use the intranet in any way, like the BOE uses their stuff. And then I think they would just be tailoring the designated trainings to the board and committee.
Well, and I believe the state requires them to take the Open Public Records or Open Public Meetings Act.
For certain committees, yes, you would need to take the
Okay.
OPMA training. The next thing, I brought this up a couple weeks ago and then just with everything going on, have not had time to bring it back again. Tourism committee wants to cancel the storage unit. So I'd given you guys that list of the things in the storage unit. I don't know what.
Where'd you give us that list?
That was a while back.
It was a couple weeks ago during a commissioner's office
Yeah, it doesn't
update, and
look-
then we just, so Rochelle made the list. I can forward it to you guys again, but
It wasn't of anything of great importance. I think you can probably just,
yes,
a lot of information.
the question was, do we need to surplus this stuff? Do
I didn't
we?
think there was anything, okay, it's been a bit. What was it, tourism?
Storage unit. I don't know if I forwarded you guys that email or if I just printed it out and gave it to you.
I think we had seen it. Well, my email's going back to 2020, so. I didn't look at, it didn't look like there was any equipment in it, but I can't remember. I thought it was just a bunch of pamphlets, informations, stands, maybe for brochure stands.
There is a TV monitor.
A TV monitor?
Yes. Let me.
Who paid for it?
Down here, right? Are you?
No.
So I can just log into my email real quick and forward it to you again. Yes, they're mostly just wondering if they need to surplus it, if they can just get rid of it, if it needs to be.
Well, who paid for the TV? Do you know?
I have no idea. It's been in there. From what I gather, all of that stuff has been in there for quite some time. I think they used the TV when they were doing the trade shows.
We would not have it on any of our records, that TV.
I don't think so. I don't know. She sent a couple of pictures of it. I don't know if there's asset tag numbers with them or if there's. It's a Westinghouse TV and case. The value of purchase new is a cool $150. Then there's other things like the Skyline fabric panel, the Skyline stands, halogen lighting. There's like a couple little paintings. There's a bunch of VHSs and DVDs of different areas around Grant County. I know that there's a couple members of tourism that had said that they would want some of those VHSs or DVDs. So.
Well, I'm wondering on Jim, if there's some of the fairgrounds might be interested in some of the, like the stand, I don't know if it's a tourism or if it's just the stands, it might be useful.
There's a link. Also
We probably do need to surplus those. They were probably bought with tourism dollars.
Yes, I would assume so. It would, I mean, they were purchased so long ago.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't catch those. I thought it was just Missing Magazine.
I
Did you just
feel
resend that?
like I vaguely remember you saying something about maybe doing like a all Grant County email, like of the stuff saying if anybody wants it. But then we had said that we would just bring it back
Okay,
and then we didn't have time.
I have it right here. Let me open it.
So we're just trying to figure out the best procedure for it and also if the commissioners are okay canceling that storage unit.
Didn't they just get it not that long ago?
Yes. In the beginning of this year.
Which we wondered why they needed one at that time.
And originally it was storing all of this stuff and any extra magazines, but now they're just distributing the magazines like right away, so there's not really any to store.
I don't see a picture, but probably the Skyline fabric panel stands. I don't know, but I think everything else you can probably just pitch. But we probably should just surplus the whole list.
Okay.
So we're safe.
And then, so we'd be surplusing them, but are you wanting
Well,
to see
some of them
if?
I don't think we have to surplus them because, well, you have to surplus them to put them in a different apartment.
We
Yes.
don't have to.
Oh,
Oh,
When
you
for
you-
don't?
different,
When you transfer it to a different department, you don't have to.
Well, darn it,
You
we're
just
surplusing a
transfer it.
vehicle. Okay,
well, you're surplusing it to sell the vehicle though. If
Right.
you're surplusing it to sell it, then we
well,
do
we're
that,
just
we just
giving
do
it
that
to a different
resolution.
department. Okay. But
We
we
don't
need,
have
we need to surplus the vehicle, yes, to sell it to,
Like central services
Mm-hmm.
today's, yeah.
They just sell it as part of the whole.
so we don't need to
Package.
surplus it.
I don't believe we need to surplus this stuff. That's what
No.
I'm saying.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking about the vehicle. I wasn't listening to the vehicle,
okay.
so
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure we're doing it right. Okay,
I
well
listened.
then, if we're just transferring it, there's really no, not a lot of value on here, but
So I guess, just, sorry, for clarification, if Jim McKiernan at the fairgrounds wants that stuff, we can just transfer it to
there's
him?
only like, I believe so. Bart, was that correct?
I didn't hear what you said.
If Jim wants the Skyline fabric panel, the Skyline stands and the halogen light, we can just transfer it to him.
Yeah, see, and is it on an asset list? That's, I've always been told if it's on the asset list, that's what governs the process. So are these items on any asset list held by accounting?
There's no number on it, so I'm assuming,
And so Emily in accounting said when there's no number on it. I thought we had talked about, that was my thoughts at that.
Well, no, so I guess then, I don't know if there's any asset numbers on anything. And when we did inventory last, we did not do anything from the storage unit because I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff was there.
So they would have sent a list down to our office.
That is
and
not how
said,
they did it this time though, remember?
See, and things are very different than when I was doing.
So for moving forward, I guess, I can reach out to Jim McCarran at the fairgrounds and see if he's interested in anything on that list. And I can reach out to accounting.
I'm pretty sure most of the stuff could probably be pitched, except for the first 1, 2, 3, 4. I would just take the first 4 items and just ask if anybody is interested in them.
So then for the items like the VHSs and the DVDs that you're saying could be pitched, there was that member of tourism, a couple members
Then
of,
let them have them.
can we can just do that? Just let them take it? Do we,
Well, I would think so. There's no. I'm gonna get thrown in jail for this.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's really not DVDs or VHSs are kind of no longer in use. I think these are just basically we're paying storage. It's costing us money to hold these. They're of no value to the county. So I would say just so we can clean out our storage, just if tourism, the tourism members or if somebody wants them, I guess you can ask whoever wants them, they can have them, but Well, it just, by the looks of things, it's just taking up space.
There's also, you had
Did you
made
have
a
a
comment.
photo of it?
No, I'm looking
Oh.
at the spreadsheet. Did you send that spreadsheet to Rob?
Yes,
Is this gonna require a dump run? Are we gonna
I,
don't even know how much is in.
well, I know how
Dump
much,
run.
so I guess long story short, yes, you would probably need to do a dump run. And there are members of tourism that have volunteered to do that, but is that something that you
Well,
want to
tourism
allow
would
them
Probably pay for
to
the,
do?
allow a member of tourism to dump the stuff.
Yes, and then like, do we just, like, they're saying they'll load up a pickup and do whatever and take it to the dump and blah, 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 and then would they just give us the receipt for
Yeah,
whatever
tourism
for
should
us
be
to
paying
pay?
for that.
Okay,
Or actually, I don't know if they bill. If it's for tourism, you could probably call the landfill, not the dump, the landfill, and ask them to bill tourism for it.
and then you had made a comment previously about maybe seeing if the museum wanted any of this stuff also. So are you wanting me to reach out to them?
Okay, I just like VHSs. You could send it to them and see if they're interested in anything.
Save some for Lily.
But like DVD, VHS. Like I said, I think it's just maybe
Keith
the
must be
skyline fabric panels and the skyline stands could possibly be used. It's probably what they used for their conferences or events that they went to.
I will get to working on that then.
Yeah, no, I think if you can see if the, what's it? Top 4 probably should be staying with the courthouse somewhere. And tourism doesn't have a need for the fabric panels.
They are not planning on doing any more of the trade shows. They're wanting to instead do conferences or something like that, instead of spending a bunch of money to do a trade show.
Would they use, and they wouldn't use them for a conference?
I don't know that they're talking about,
Okay,
no, the consensus of them is no, they would not use them anymore.
okay. Low, it's been in the back corner of our room that I've been trying to teach on back there.
You want to do the policy review next, when we come back to open house?
Sure.
Sorry, Caitlin, we're not real concise on this.
That's fine.
Well, we just want to follow whatever the policy rules are. For me, I
For
don't,
the surplusing stuff?
yeah, I don't, otherwise
And-
I don't care.
And it's just hard because the stuff has just been in a storage unit for so long that,
Which I
We
sort of
just-
think you could throw it away. Anything not current, you know, marketing material that's outdated would be garbage, I would think.
so then for the policy review, currently, the only policies that come before the board for your guys' signature and approval, like on consent, is tourism's and the Veterans Advisory Board. All the other ones do not. So tourism, I know we had started putting that on consent more recently because you guys are their, department head, elected official that goes over them. And with Veterans Advisory Board, I believe it's something similar.
Can I just, is there a difference between policies versus bylaws? I know tourisms are mixed together, but Tony's are separate. And I think the board approves one, but not the other. Am I mixing that up?
No, you're right. They're two separate things. And the board does approve, I can't remember, I think it's the
It's the bylaws.
bylaws. Yes, because the bylaws are like how they do stuff, like to follow certain regulations set by the state and the county. And their policies is just, don't yell at each other. That kind of, the stuff that the commissioners don't necessarily need to sign. But with the changes with the BOEs, we wanted to see what level of policy review the commissioners were wanting. We just wanted to confirm with you guys that the way that things are going right now is how you want it to go, or if you want to see any changes. The current policies and bylaws that you guys don't sign on consent would be LEF, LTAC, Homeless Housing Task Force, now the Board of Equalization. And with LEF, the task force, and LTAC, you have a commissioner that sits on that border committee. So you do have one of you three that is there actively being part of any updates or changes that are made.
I do believe we've, on the homeless task force, we have signed, the commissioners have signed previously off on that.
On their bylaws or
I
their,
think we've signed off on everything because it's a board that previously, but maybe not recently.
the most recent copy that I
Okay, so
saw
not
that I
recently
used,
then. Okay.
yeah, it has not been done in the past couple years at least, because when we just renewed their policies and bylaws, and the copy that I pulled from was from 2023, and that one, it was only the chair of the task force that signed it.
Okay.
So the question that we had was if you as the commissioners are wanting to see and sign and approve bylaws for all of these
Well, I'm
committees.
going to say I was a little blindsided with the Board of E when they, I don't know if it was a policy or a bylaw, you know, paying themselves from home. So things like that, I guess, that impact the county budget, that a salary should not be set by a board. It needs to be set, you can't set your own salary. Board members can't set it. So things like that, the impact, I would say they need to come before the commissioners. So whether you're calling it a policy or a bylaw, they absolutely can't set their salary.
Things like left, where they have, left has,
It
Theirs
did
is
come
called something
before, I
different.
believe it came before the board because when they had a change on, I don't know if it was in the bylaw or the policy, where they were changing glasses or contacts with them out, that did previously, it came before the commissioners. So if it stopped doing that, yeah, I haven't seen anything from left.
so left did just change the maximum reimbursement amount.
Yeah,
It
see, it
was,
didn't-
and it did not go before you guys, no, because again, when I pulled from the older one, it wasn't signed by all of the commissioners, and I think the understanding was that since you have a commissioner that sits on that board, that they would be the one to report back to you guys to get feedback or something like that. So Kevin was a part of it when they just changed that maximum reimbursement.
So that's a fiduciary impact to the budget, to the
Yes.
left one budget. So
From
I
what
would
I
say it probably
understand-
needs to come to the commissioners.
Okay, so.
But I'm just one, Rob.
No, I think anything that's money should come to the board.
So, and those ones, I mean, it would come out, the only way that would really hit the county is like, sheriff's office. It would,
Yeah,
you know,
'cause we
reimbursements from the sheriff's office for a left one member. And then all the other ones, all cities and towns. So, and obviously there's changes that can be made that will impact staff one way or another, whether it's, you know, like with tourism's, their, you know, the minute distribution or whatever, or with left, the maximum reimbursement, with the task force, if they want to, you know, change member makeup or something like that.
That needs to come before the board.
So,
Commissioners.
so my question then is, do you want all of them to come to you guys? Just period, no matter what? So like, for example, if the homeless housing task force wants to change the amount of times they meet, they don't get mileage reimbursement, they don't get compensated by the county in any way. They just show up. Like recently, it changed from once a quarter to once every month. And if that's reflected in the bylaws, that is something that, you know, was fixed when we updated them a couple months ago.
Going to monthly though for like task force was more about staying updated on the plan and what's going on.
So that's just like
It might only be for this year.
because I think it was bi-monthly or quarterly. when they
Quarterly
previously had
before.
those.
And well, then for you, like I don't even know how many years it didn't even happen. 3 years maybe. So then we were quarterly to make sure it met the standards, and then as we started doing the plan and people started presenting more information, then it went monthly. Which
Your-
monthly is working.
Your bylaws currently say that you guys meet monthly on the last Thursday
Yeah,
of
for
each
the
month.
update.
Yes. And those were the bylaws that were approved a couple months ago and signed by Tony. But again, they did not come to the commissioners because you have a commissioner that sits on that committee. So again, I think the thought was that the commissioners would share with each other. And obviously things like Board of Ec, where it's a staff member that's there.
For task force, though, the update was basically adding meetings. And then the
Yes.
No
breakdown.
fiduciary change.
Yeah, there's no fiduciary changes.
But I think
so-
does the task force or the commissioners have to sign the plan because we're the ones that
Well, when the plan comes,
need to sign the plan.
yeah, when that comes, November probably.
No, Caitlin, I would love to give you just a little, so maybe the boards where LTAC or a commissioner is sitting on. But I guess if it has a fiduciary impact, commissioners like to know.
So are you wanting that to be on consent where the commissioners
I don't think it's
sign
even
it?
on consent because with HR, we sign the policy updates and the HR meetings.
I guess I'm confused now. Are you just wanting us to give you updates or
It would
like,
be great to have an update.
okay. So then when it comes to, so I understand like with the fiduciary changes, like for Board of Ec, that would be come in as a request on consent, like how it is right now. As a recommendation
Correct.
for blah, blah, blah.
It's a fiduciary, yep.
So then for LEF, for example, when they change their maximum reimbursement amount, is that from what I understand in the past, that has not been on
RCWs. Let
consent.
me look at the RCW. So
The RCW does not, from what I remember, it doesn't say a dollar amount. It's just set by the LEF one board. And the reason why they changed that maximum reimbursement was to accommodate inflation and increased costs of things because, people were trying to get frames and they were not able to get decent frames.
well, I think
with
it
that.
probably I'm trying to, let me read a little bit on this, excuse me.
I think the goal of this was just for us to have a
Because-
standard practice for these kinds of things.
Yeah, well, the board can make a decision that we're gonna pay all medical, all whatever, but it could be an impact to the budget. And this would be something that the commissioners, just like a budget meeting, it's a change. So I feel that commissioners should be, we pay for it, for our portion of it. Board, under the Grant County. So do I need every little change? No, but when there's a financial impact, I would like to change, or a board change, the size of the board, I would like to have that go before the commission. I would say any decent change needs to go before the board.
But you guys have been bringing the majority of them to us in your updates.
Let me do some more research. I'll have a better answer for you.
Bring that back.
Do any other boards get mileage other than BOE and, who else gets mileage? There's one other one.
Tourism.
Tourism does.
Tourism gets mileage, Veterans Advisory Board gets mileage, BOE gets mileage and the hourly stipend.
Planning commission gets.
Planning
Per diem.
gets mileage, that's right.
No, you said per
Yeah.
diem. They don't get a per diem.
They don't, just as mileage.
That's according to, they just get mileage. They did,
Left does get mileage reimbursement also.
The solid waste advisory committee get
Anything?
I believe they can get mileage.
Can they?
Well, I thought on the boards you were supposed to be able to get mileage. You were supposed to pay, if they have to travel, they're supposed to get paid. Because the Fair Advisory, Jim didn't think it was necessary, but I'm like, well,
LTAC does not receive any mileage reimbursement.
they
or
probably
anything.
should. They're coming from a distance.
And Homeless Housing Task Force also does not receive any mileage reimbursement.
Is it something we should make
Because
standard
LTAC
throughout?
is a county homeless task force. That's a county.
County has to have both an LTAC and a Homeless Housing Task Force.
So we probably should. Well, it's really hard when we pay for some and not others.
The Homeless Housing Task Force does not have like a designated budget. Like LTAC does and Left does and.
The homeless,
But
I do like the plan that's coming that you're paying the plan from. There should be funds to pay for the plan. And it would come out of that budget. But that's probably something you could reach out as a commerce. It's,
We would definitely want to wait until next year so you can actually budget it too.
I would think, I think we have to be careful. If we pay mileage on this board, we should pay mileage.
Well, yeah, I would agree if it
Oh.
wasn't 2025 and it hadn't been being done
Yeah.
that way.
No, but I think so put it in the budget for 2025, the homeless task force. But LTAC should be receiving mileage. There's a dedicated account. Tourism should be receiving mileage.
Tourism does receive
I
mileage.
think we did have an issue with the planning department. They did not get paid. So they would do mileage and a meal reimbursement. And then we found out that was wrong. They can't, because they were eating between going to their job. And so we had to review that years ago. I don't think they used mileage reimbursement for the planning commission. And Board of EEC is the only board that gets paid a stipend. And that's just for attending the Board of EEC hearings, not for any other. Well, they may get paid if they go to training, but I don't know, it'll say on the RCW, but they don't, like if they were to come in to drive around to look at a parcel, which I don't know if they're supposed, they don't get paid for that.
I can look into mileage reimbursements for LTAC and the task force.
I'm sure people will be beating down our doors to get on our boards when they get mileage. So no, I personally feel like I don't need to see every revision, every change, but when it impacts the budget, I would like to see it. Or the size of a board, or the change in the size of the board, because I don't believe they can have the ability to change the board size, it's the commissioners.
And the Homeless Housing Task Force, I guess FYI, there used to be just one lived experience position, and we just recently added, with this last one, we added an alternate position for the lived experience because we were not getting participation from that member, and then we.
But
also
I think
didn't have
that's an
participation.
RCW, isn't that an RCW?
You just have to have a lived experience member. It doesn't tell you that you have to have an alternate.
Okay.
But the board, obviously the recommendation of appointment came before the commissioners and you guys signed it and approved it. So we have the alternate member now, but that was not a position that was real before. It was just the one.
Did we get any, changing subjects, kind of, the health district, did we receive any applicants for the open health district position?
I don't know, not from our website, but
Okay.
the last time that this happened, all of the applications went right to the health district, and then the health district sent their applications and their recommendation, and I have not seen anything from them
Okay.
yet.
Because I know there were some people that were applying and I haven't heard anything. Okay, I can email Teresa. So are you more confused than ever?
No. We'll be bringing it back.
Okay.
The only other thing that I was gonna talk about was just a quick review of the tourism master plan open house that we had last week. we had okay engagement. There were a couple of requests for some posters, like I've got some upstairs now for Jim to put around the fairgrounds for the fair, for the tourism survey. And then Rochelle is going to be working with the social media manager to make an engaging ad for the survey to be promoted with the ad boosting fund that they have. So that'll just be one of the ads that they're boosting now. She's gonna do the resident survey will be promoted on the Facebook page and the visitor survey will be promoted on the Instagram because she said that's typically where they see those demographics interacting with the pages. They will not be doing any paid advertising on TikTok for that because she said that you won't get a good response and it would just kind of be a waste of money.
What do they normally do? Get tourism engagement? Because it's almost like they don't even know what they're doing.
The social media stuff
No,
or
I'm
tourism?
talking about Beckwith. I'm just curious if they've said what they do elsewhere because it's like you put things at hotels, put them at campgrounds, put them at events.
They reference
We keep doing things, but the signs were super boring. You know, the new ones are better, but they still haven't gotten tons of traction, a little tiny bit. Resident surveys are probably from our county email and social media posts and from the chamber. But I just don't understand what they normally do to get a bunch of feedback.
I can reach out to him if you'd like.
I've asked him, he doesn't have a very good answer. I was curious.
They had talked about how his staff would be going to campgrounds and handing out the postcards for the visitor survey to actual campers in the campground. And then Jennifer Hackett said flat out that she was going to, but she had yet to receive any of the postcards to hand out. So he was supposed to be sending that to her. I just want to give an FYI that they were talking about printing a bunch of postcards and posters here in Ephrata, and Tom Beckwith volunteered me to pick them up and distribute them, and I said no, just an FYI, because it was not a nice request. It was, Caitlin will pick that up, and so I said no, because that he was asking me to do it the next day, to be picking this stuff up and distributing it. And I personally feel that if I open that door right now to be able to be doing that, then I'll get more requests like that later on in the year when we've got budget and NACO and LTAC. And if the commissioners would like me to open that door, though, I am more than happy to do as the commissioners direct.
I don't think that is a description in your job.
And then we have a bunch of the postcards for the sand dunes to hand out. So I'll be reaching out to, his name is Scott Fisher. I'll be reaching out to him again tomorrow if I haven't heard back, to let him know that those postcards are here. He had said that he would come pick them up. Those are in the office, and he shared some.
Is he from Moses Lake?
Scott Fisher? Yes. He said that he works with Rob. He knows you. Works in one of your booths. Maybe Scott Walker.
Yeah, I know who it is.
But
no.
I believe he lives in Moses Lake. He controls the social media sites for the sand dunes and the sand scorpions. Or if he doesn't control them, then he at the very least has access to the analytics
Well, I'm
of
just
it.
wondering if he's in Moses Lake, if we just send him over to the fairgrounds or somewhere, so they're a little closer for him to pick up.
Sure. He had said that he could come and pick them up, so I'm just waiting for a response from him.
Okay.
But it was a lot of statistics and numbers in that presentation. There's supposed to be another one on August 18th. It'll be from 4 to 5 p.m. It'll be both virtual and in person here in the courthouse. From what I gather, it'll be pretty similar to the one that he had last week. So we'll see what kind of engagement we get with that. guys have any questions or comments?
No.
I just usually throw them out as they come.
That's it then.
Nothing else for you, Barbara?
No, sir.
All right, then we'll go into recess until 1 p.m. when we are back with clerk's office update. Good afternoon, it is 1 p.m. and we are here for clerk's office update with Kim Allen. You look like you got tan.
Been out by the pool a little bit.
That's all right.
Yeah. I had forgotten to look at your agenda for this week to make sure that I was really on.
You're on, yep.
I have a question. How's the hunt for a new county administrator going?
It's on, we're still looking, it's on hold until September. We're not gonna do any interviews or hold off until September. We thought Kirk was gonna come back maybe this month, but it'll be next month. So we thought we'll kind of reassess.
Kirk will be back next month.
Maybe. Because it's supposed to be August 2nd.
He chose to utilize other leave, I believe. He is able to come back, but has not chosen to at this time.
And reassess next month. But I believe we're gonna move forward on interviews, but we
On the
just thought
county
we would better
administrator.
wait. Pardon me?
You'll decide on the county administrator in
Well, I think we're
September.
gonna move forward on it.
We're gonna do interviews, I think, in mid-September.
Yeah, in September, I think. We'll just kind of
And then go
verify
from
the, I think basically, verify the situation that Kirk's in would be kind of, he's still a placeholder there, so see what's gonna go in there.
Have you interviewed any applicants so far? Oh.
No.
Do you know how many applications you've had?
There's been like 20,
Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
but not all of them are qualified.
Oh,
But there's a handful of, definitely some potential. We're just up in the air, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of a, we'll get there.
Well, it's not an immediate rush. You just want a good fit.
right. You kind of answered that, my second question. I got Decora's email, she sent it last night, but I got it today, about the budgeting for legal expenses for 2026. That
If
made
you're,
me-
if you don't have a lot going on, you're gonna be totally fine. If
Well,
you have a lot of,
It
this is-
raised a lot of questions for
Okay.
me, because as an elected, the prosecutor is our attorney. And the only way that we can hire anyone else is if the prosecutor hires an attorney to handle that.
let me read it. I think
So.
some of it would be like Tony Minky, some of the union issues, or if you have issues within your office that are not resolved, that he is our attorney that we are able to hire. So we do have some offices that.
But that's the commissioners hire Tony Minky to negotiate and to do that. And the contract is between the employees and the commissioners, not between the employees and me.
I think your office is fine. There are some offices that It's extremely expensive.
I didn't read hers.
Oh, I'm just trying to pull it up right now.
Was that, I mean, I know what the stance is when you create liability, which needs representation. It shouldn't fall on,
Right, if I just decide to fire somebody
Yeah.
and they decide to
when they
sue,
give you,
sue me
when
and,
HR gives
and the
opposite
county.
recommendation, you do what you want to do, then we have to get legal. It's basically when that takes place, that's going to go onto their budget versus onto the county's miscellaneous general government type budget. Because if you're getting recommendation, but you're choosing not to follow it, that doesn't fall on the rest. That's what I'm
Right.
guessing you're
No,
talking
and
about.
she sent a letter out, and I was just gonna peruse
I
through it. I'm
didn't
just
read the
gonna-
letter, but we've had a lot of conversation about that
You didn't
offline.
read the email with the attachment.
So that would cover it, but if,
You might want to, because I think you'll probably have lots of questions.
okay, no, you're,
What day was
not a
it?
high user.
No,
of
I'm
your
not,
training Or,
knock on wood, but how do we budget for that? How are we supposed to budget for that?
Well-
I haven't had to use it other than for negotiations. I haven't
well,
had
I'm
to
different
use
I mean, you
that.
don't have to, you will have funds put in place. I'm trying to look at her, because I did
But,
see
I
that.
mean, it might be me, I mean, Osborne versus Grant County, we all have heard of it.
Mhm.
So it might be me one year, it might be the assessor the next year, it might be the treasurer 3 times the next year. I mean, there's no way to budget for that, you know?
No, but we will do a budget extension. It's not like you're gonna have to lay off people. That's not the intent. It's just so that you can kind of track it. We do have some high users, and I don't think, dealing with HR, visiting with HR, I don't think our department heads or elected officials realize the cost that it's costing the county.
No,
they're dragging
but that
things on
wasn't
and
shared
moving
with us either.
Well, I think.
And I think
so
that
it's-
that would have been
But just the
helpful.
norm,
I think having a discussion about
okay, I'm
the
trying to find that
cost
letter.
and
Because I
having
saw
a
it, I just
discussion
kind of
about
perused through it.
what it has been costing would have been helpful before it was just like, oh, surprise.
Yeah, everything that I do in here is based on recommendations from HR, legal. So if I was to choose to disregard Cindy, Kevin's opinion, HR's opinion, legal's opinion, and go on my own thing, I would kind of expect that it would be at the cost of myself.
Well, this is the cost of yourself, though.
No, but you know what I mean, but
yeah,
I
so
would
we're kinda like,
understand
we're gonna
if
fight
I
this, we're
was
gonna
to-
take this on.
But when you're independently elected, it falls on the department, not the individual. But I'm just saying, I would understand if I was liable myself with all of those recommendations, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do because I'm Rob Jones. So I do understand what you're saying, but at the same time, we do have people that disregard legal's opinion, disregard HR's opinion, disregard our opinion, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And that to me is, yeah, just it's a problem. You don't fall into that category so far that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm looking for that, but I think it was just kind of to share the love there. But we do have some high users, very high users.
And I mean, some of the description that was provided, I got that impression that, you know, to bring awareness to people of how much it's going to cost. But I think that,
Sorry, I know she sent it out, and I don't know if somebody answered and I lost it.
she sent it out late yesterday.
Because I read it. I mean, I just kind of perused through it. The sharing of the.
I just was legal consulted about that. That was a concern that I had because it does kind of come back to the prosecutor. And, you know, part of it too is we're gonna have lawsuits. we're gonna have.
Yeah, no,
I
I
mean,
think this
everybody's
is
sue
the
happy,
attorneys
so.
that are already on board. But if there are different attorneys, they will have to get approved by Kevin previously approved him. Every attorney that we have outside of Kevin is approved by his office. So, like Tony Minky, it's just a contract that we have. He does
But
let
that's a
them go.
contract that you have. I
That
don't
we
think
have.
I have that.
No, but Kim, if, I guess I'll,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you were doing things
We gotta have all of our
that
ducks
you
in
were
a
just
row.
fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, whatever the policy was or whatever, and you had legal, we would say, you know, it's like, Kim, this is your, here you go.
Yeah,
This is
you
yours,
made the
we're coming after
decision,
you.
you gotta deal with the consequences. I get that. I
But I
get
don't
that
think it's
part
so
of
much,
it.
I think for the basic union, I believe we're covering it. I'm looking for the letter. I think it's just anything above and beyond. And I honestly cannot find. Okay, no, this is a
I
recap.
was gonna respond to Decorah.
I see the policy for
She's not in today. She dropped that bomb and
No, I'm looking
left.
at Decorah.
I don't think that's how that happened.
No, and I don't, I think, again.
No,
like I
but
said,
Gina's probably
you
getting a
are
lot of
fine.
phone calls
It's
today.
not I don't believe it's gonna be if it is, she's gonna send out whatever the negotiations, your office settles relatively quick. Some of them don't, they just drag on or back and forth, and I don't know why it takes so long. We have kind of what Rob mentioned.
Well,
we have
and the other part of that
issues
too
that are not
is
addressed.
if something like that happens, okay, if I'm the one that's gonna be footing the bill,
It'll be your office through current expense, through like miscellaneous general government.
right? But my experience with things like that and hearing how that goes is that often HR is very involved in it, or the commissioners might be involved in it. Well, if those discussions are happening, if the attorney's meeting with HR, meeting with commissioners, meeting with me, it's a lot of fingers in the mix, so yet what's gonna get paid is gonna come out of my budget. I don't
If it's
know.
something larger, it
seems
could
like-
be miscellaneous general government, but
Say that again.
if it is something large, it would come out of, well, our insurance would be involved, it'll come out of miscellaneous general government, we have some fees, but I think it'll, so that some of our department, not all of them, but some of our department heads and elected officials will be keenly aware of what the cost is when they are failing to follow the recommendation of HR and they're going on their own and we're paying legal fees and we keep paying legal fees because of things that are done. Maybe, I would say outside of the scope of HR, but it's just costly. And so it's just, and maybe even things are just done regularly, like there's just a little upheaval of some sorts, but it's so that your department knows, because I can assure you, there are some departments and offices have no idea what the legal expenses are.
I have
and
no idea what it
We're not the
would
ones that
cost.
caused them,
I
it's
mean,
an employee in the office, and so that you are keenly aware of the cost. And you're not personally paying for it, it will be if there's a budget transfer needed, but so that it's just, you have the scope of what the cost would
so
be.
the commissioners end up,
Seeing what this
and
cost
the
is.
county as a whole ends up footing the bill.
Mhm.
It just seems,
Without really the knowledge of the elected official or the department head. It's just to give you awareness. It's nothing that we're thinking that you're doing anything wrong.
I just have concerns about how that might all shake out.
I would love to give you examples offline.
That might help me.
Might help you
That might help me
understand.
understand, yeah. Okay. All right. Do you hear all
Yeah.
Monday?
Or you can just call me or whatever.
I don't think it wasn't to scare anybody, to be a burden to your office. And again, you have so few, so
Well,
little.
I just don't know what to budget after reading that.
I don't think you would budget anything if you worked with HR and legal and didn't go rogue. How I look at it.
Yeah, I don't know if there was even a little
Does
bit. that-
HR budget for that?
It was
HR
just-
has a budget for some, yes, but sometimes it goes above and beyond, and we're going far greater than what our budget is.
Right,
for
but let's
something.
say HR budget's 100,000
Uh-huh.
a year
Mhm.
for legal. Doesn't really matter if one department has, let's say only one department has used all that 100,000. Next year, it might be me that needs all 100,000.
Well, that's usually not the case. So if you were the,
But,
if you're
but
the
you see what
office
I'm saying?
consecutively
I
using the
mean,
$80,000 or $90,000 annually, and that you just didn't, it's kind of more of this is what it's costing the county. It's kind of more of, so that the elected official or department head is aware of the cost.
and I get that. I get that part totally.
But we do have some funds in miscellaneous general government. We will, I mean, if you're over budget, you can't finish your year if you're over budget. So money will be transferred to handle it, just but so you have a grasp of what's going on. Or not you, but the elected official and department head.
But it seems like Decora's email made it sound like we were all
Brett, it's
supposed
actually
to
Brett's,
be.
Brett, come to the
No,
table.
no,
It's
no, no,
actually
I-
your update.
I'm on this
I'm
subject.
actually looking for the email because I did
We're all
read it. and
supposed to
I
be
don't know where it
budgeting.
happened.
No, I'm on this subject. So does it not, seems like it works better. I mean, yes, we should be aware. I get that. And that's a piece that's been missing, right? But if they're gonna invoice and send us, why don't they just send us, keep it in their budget the way it is and send us the notice that would be the invoice
You cost the county
that
this much
says
this
it
month.
costs this much.
Yeah.
Because if they're gonna do that work either way, why would we go to the effort of having to transfer funds from our budget to their budget back, you know?
It's a county
it-
expense.
Yeah, it seems
so
to me that just creates a lot more
work for
difficult.
somebody.
And especially when we don't have a handle on what legal expenses are gonna cost us for employment stuff. I mean, I would have no idea how to budget that. So,
That's,
am I saying the exact same thing that you said in minutes before I got here?
Yep. yeah.
I mean, it just seems silly to invoice, do a payment.
I
But-
don't
but-
think it would apply to either of you in this example. In this email, it says financial responsible for legal expenses related to labor relation matters arising from their own actions. So that's working.
Your own actions?
Yes, that is, you are being recommended of a process to work inside of, and you choose to not follow recommendations of HR or the county.
And there's times that
Well, I
happens.
think I'm approaching that here this year.
You are?
I might be, I might not. I might feel like I want to fight a couple things.
And
with
I
HR.
don't think that HR or the commissioners have the ability to ultimately tell another elected official how they're gonna.
Well, I'm different. They can't.
Well,
tell
and
me what to
I
do.
mean, we can
Fire
fire
you.
HR.
They can fire me, yeah.
No, HR can't. We can't.
Yeah.
But sometimes we've been in a situation, because of that situation, we've been involved in a lawsuit.
And I
I'll
know
just
that
reference the
sometimes
prosecutor's
people
office
just put their
years
foot
ago.
down and say, I'm the elected official and that's the way I'm gonna do it. And
And we had an elected official and it cost the county a lot of money in a settlement. So not a whole lot we as commissioners could do other than pay the bill. And I don't know if he, it's kind of transferred over his or if it was paid out of miscellaneous general government, but he made a decision that had a big impact. Right now, we're looking for an engineer, so HR will be advertising with, what is that? Kind of a headhunter. It's probably at like $16,000-$20,000. Well, HR doesn't want that to come out of their budget, so they would like to bill Public Works, because Public Works feels like they can't get an engineer, so they want a headhunter. So that will come out of that because it's not budgeted. So HR or Public Works would have the funds to pay for that headhunter. I'm thinking Lexipol. It's not Lexipol. It is.
But it's 100% human resources. I mean, that's
But we
that's
typically
100%.
don't use a headhunter. I know, but we typically don't use a headhunter. That's actually outside of current expense. Public Works has their own funding source.
So are you guys paying for didn't you hire a firm like that for the county administrator position?
No, we're going through HR.
Just regular advertising? I thought it was some nationwide thing.
Seems like that's one that needs a headhunter.
Well,
It's advertised through there, but not the same.
Yeah.
We are not paying our $16,000 or $20,000 to advertise for that one. But I think
you
our
are paying.
engineer, we are not for the county engineer, but for the
administrator.
for the county administrator, for the county engineer, I believe we will go in that direction, and Public Works will be paying for that.
How come it's so hard to find an engineer? Because you need lots of experience to
You need
do
some
that job.
experience, and people just are not happy to leave their job. They're happy where they're at.
Yeah.
I think the private sector pays quite well.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's just hard to compete. Like attorneys, sometimes attorneys are really easy to find, and sometimes they're really difficult to find.
Oh my gosh.
So right now, we're in a, we can't get enough.
Preaching to the choir.
But Kim, I'm thinking you are not a high user of.
No, I know I'm not, and I know that
But I would just
there
recommend
are
you can
good
visit with Rob. He's offered to kind of
behind
give you some
it,
highlights and lowlights and.
Yeah, I'll give you my perspective on it and where my stance on that stuff comes from. And I mean, I respect that I'm an independently elected official, blah, blah, blah thing that a lot of electeds say, which I'm independently elected also. I don't have my own office or anything, but there are boundaries, and it's our job as commissioners to make sure everybody stays within the boundaries. So it's just kind of I think like a way to do that somewhat. And I didn't know that was on there, but I'm reading it all now.
maybe it just hit me wrong after.
It might have, which
Just
I would
had a
understand.
meeting and didn't get to that
And
topic.
I just returned to work after a few days off to
And you're
read
like,
that.
"What?"
I felt like that. I felt that it wasn't.
We should have had a discussion.
Well, yeah, I mean, and of course I have 100 things to do, so I didn't, I didn't really read it closely. Skimmed it, but that was my initial.
Well, it's actually Brett's updated. Brett would like to come. We're just transitioning from one
All
to
right.
another without a clear,
Have
concise.
a clear line. Thank you, Kim.
Or give me a call, Kim, sometime.
All right, well, here's a easy transition, 124 into the public defense update.
Thank you. Lest you think I'm being kind of rude to our newly appointed prosecutor, I've seen him already today and congratulated him.
No, it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited.
He has no idea we're getting ready for a new substitute teacher or new teacher, like contract reviews. We're
Well,
gonna be hit with some new
I don't know if
things.
it's exciting like that, but well, not for us.
It's true.
Well, we're excited to have some newfound organization with the prosecutor's office, because it does impact our attorneys pretty severely when things are a little bit in disarray. And vice versa, I'm sure. So we, while we're opposite sides, we depend on each other, kind of. If that makes sense. Anyway, Yeah, I have a couple of things, in the short time. I'm looking at this email. And it looks like this one just came in this morning. Katie Person talking about trying to have a meeting to talk about criminal justice act funds. I see Rob's
Is
name
that
on
for
there.
the,
Um,
is that from, Wasac?
Criminal Justice Treatment Act account or whatever.
OAC?
I don't know who it is, from Carolyn.
Okay, Carolyn is who the county contracts with, so they pay our, they manage our opioid fund that we're getting through the county.
Okay.
So it's kind of, we have to do it, used to be the BHO, but through a regional area. So Carolyn is managing that. They take the grants or the applications to the grants and kind of help us disperse them. And then they also are over our chemical dependency, substance use disorder.
And they're the ones that are
They provide the billing to Renew for Dell. So, because the state pays or the state or federal, they go through Carolyn who kind of sends them out.
I guess my question then is I'm invited, I guess, to do the doodle poll and have a meeting. Which is fine if I'm beneficial to a meeting. If this somehow impacts me, I would be happy to participate.
Well,
But I
don't
just
know if
soon
you're-
not go to a meeting and sit there and talk about other people's issues. That makes sense? I like to be efficient with my time.
So I think this is about, I just pulled her up. Okay.
I guess what I'm doing is I'm asking you if I need to be there.
No, I'm trying to look and see what, it could be for law and justice stuff. I don't know what our meeting's about here. This is the one 7:15.
Review and approval of the Grant County Criminal Justice Treatment Account.
She may want funding on it. Requested funding.
I mean, I think we ought to, I don't know if that's the account.
The
that
law is,
we're-
what
and
is
I'm
it? What account was she asking? Law and justice?
Criminal Justice Treatment Account. Says it is a state-funded program that provides dedicated resources to support treatment services for individuals involved in the criminal justice system. By the way, Brandon's on the email as well.
Okay, I'm not sure if what,
I wonder, because I know the courts have been able to pay or to somehow fund, and maybe it's through this, that they're funding people who have required treatment, that kind of thing. There's a new funding source that I really wasn't aware of, but somebody was telling me about it.
maybe this is it. It's just not ringing a bell to me, and maybe they're talking, they want to
Well, maybe I'll respond and
just make Brandon go and then
I can decide.
tell everybody what's going on.
I can decide not to go later.
I actually have the email flag too, so.
Yeah,
I'm gonna Google it and just see.
I have a hard time knowing what's about, anyway. I guess I could ask her directly and say, what are you talking about?
Account for people in custody.
I'm not sure that's exactly what it is.
Okay, I'm trying to.
Anyway. So.
For substance use disorder treatment for offenders. So RCW 71, 24, 580. So it's probably about that. Change in 2025.
So I have less than a minute, I guess, to talk about other serious matters, but has there been any more discussion about this contract business?
No.
That you're aware of? I can report a little bit. So right now, we only have we have 3 contractors, but Senate was one that's been, he's only been on a contract for a month or so. And without a full discussion, I'm reluctant to make any types of recommendations on that issue. I think to save headache in the future, maybe we terminate those contracts. There's a termination clause to do it.
It doesn't matter, we may have to go back. I don't know if
And-
termination's the answer, because we'll have to go back. If
Well, but
they-
it matters going forward.
Yeah, but we may have to go back and,
But if we terminate, then we can just step back and renegotiate for a lesser contract. But
well, and thanks for your insights on that, because I think brought to Michelle during an audit. So what it is, a DRS audit, when they came to audit the retirement, because we have, okay, public defenders.
have you looked at the,
Well, there you go, we have a
have you
new
looked at the
attorney,
contract?
I haven't looked at the contracts yet.
so.
Well, Kevin's
have any-
opinion was, in fact, I'll give you a quote when it first came up. It came from HRs trying to say, and Kevin's immediate quote was, hell no. It was that
You know,
clear.
it's only said that like 3 times in here, and that I
Yeah,
remember.
it was that clear to him.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's that clear to me.
Okay,
However, there are some indicias of employment, but it's a balancing test. And that's why, you know, maybe it needs to be sent out to
but we haven't
someone else.
moved forward on anything.
Yeah. I think it behooves the county to not allow them to tell us that that is a full-time contract or full-time employment. But I'm not advising you about the
But Brett,
county's
you had some pretty
interest.
strong words that you had a lot
Yeah.
of. No, I
Well,
think you had a
welcome.
lot, so thank you for joining our meeting, because you had some insights on there. That,
Well, Barb called me and said, hey, they're talking
yeah, we're
about
like,
that.
oh, we're
right
talking about your employees, maybe you should be over here so you know.
now." They're not my employees.
Okay, you are, the people that you work with, you're part of
And
your
so,
A team. People that don't work for you, that are contracted, that know you.
right. That I don't supervise, by the way. Yeah. But I think moving forward to avoid any type of thing, it appears to me that we probably do need to just, because apparently they don't have any problems with a 90% contract. Because we
Oh, it's
have
a
those.
100% contract, that's where the issue is?
Yes.
Okay.
And Jerry Mulberg had the language in there and it's been in there the whole time. That states, because the standards of public defense require that you can only do a certain amount, including private practice. That's why those contracts have some of that language in there. I think moving forward, we can remove that and simply ask them to do 90% of a caseload, because you have to have the caseload reference to get any of the 10-101 funds.
But if this contracted individual chooses not to work, then they're not an employee, they're not,
Well,
disciplined.
Well, see, that's part of the problem is they're asking us to say, we want you to tell us how many hours they worked during the term. Well, their contract, I don't know how many hours they worked. They might have worked 5 hours. I don't know. I don't have any idea.
But if they choose not to do any work, then you're not paying them, correct? Or are they on a contract?
No. And that's one of the conditions. We pay them a monthly fee
Okay.
to be available for that amount of time. I don't think any of these contractors have ever been 100%.
Okay.
They've never been 100%. But we have to have those cases available for them to work if we do have it, because we got to have somebody to take them if we have, right? So, and that is one of the problems in the indicias of employment is that we,
Brandon, I actually
Fully-
think it's
fully
worth your
captured.
time if you'd like to jump up on that.
yeah, anyway. Yeah, I can get out of the way. Brandon's probably got 100 things to talk to you about.
I know that Miss Kaler is online, so
I'll give the time to her first.
Sorry, Brett, I wasn't trying to, I don't have an answer for that, so I.
Just say your time's up, get out of here.
All right, your time's up.
First official meeting, and we're like, you're Brandon, stay in the back, we'll get to you sooner or later.
All right. Anyway, I'm available anytime
Okay.
to visit about any of that.
Sure, there's more to come on this
And
one.
and again, I think my opinions are really strong on it. But we have to always keep in mind, I do not in any way advise the county on, I mean, I can tell you what I think, and we should litigate forever, but I'm not. I understand my role is not that. Okay, so that nobody makes that mistake.
Because you're sitting next to Brandon, that is his role.
That's really kind of his role, yeah.
Don't step on my toes.
And I know the county generally has somebody
More to come on
contracted
that.
to do.
Yep. We're kind of in a holding pattern,
Okay, all right.
a transition time. Thank you, Brett.
Transition time. Thanks, Brett.
Call it a holding. pattern.
All right, it is 1:35 and we will roll into the prosecuting attorney's office update. Welcome to your
Rebecca's
first
here.
update.
Yeah, she told me she was going to be online,
And
so.
Rebecca is online as a panelist guest. She's
Right
right
here.
there.
Right behind you.
Is she talking?
No. Rebecca, the floor is yours apparently.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
So I only have one thing on the agenda. Apparently the commissioners let Barb Vasquez know that they wanted to talk about the contract with or regarding the 911 MAC dispatch. Is that correct?
We just got the request from Mac today and I forwarded it to Barb to be discussed with the board, but yeah.
Rob,
Okay.
that was a different thing.
Oh, what's this one?
It's a
This was-
contract.
Yeah, the MAC 911 contract, annual contract. The one you were talking about was changing the ordinance.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now it was my, and Barb, correct me if I'm wrong, it was my understanding that you guys were moving forward without my review.
Yes, that's what the board decided yesterday.
Well, no, it's not on this week's agenda. It is on next week's. We would like to put it on next week's agenda. I believe we
Yeah.
were gonna put it on next week's agenda. I know you've been busy. Mac is after us to get it signed, so we thought we'd put it on next week's agenda, hoping that it could get reviewed. If it doesn't get reviewed, is there an issue if, it sounds like we need to sign it ASAP and it's with another state agency, Grant County and another state agency.
Gotcha. Okay. I haven't had a chance to look into the issues at all. I can certainly bump it up on priority wise. So I'm happy to do that. But yeah, I have not had a chance to review the issue. So if I'm understanding correctly, it's not on this week's agenda, but it's on next week. So it'll be on for Thursday. So it will go on the consent agenda for let's see here if I can get this right. It will be put on Thursdays. It will be submitted Thursday for next week's consent agenda.
That is correct.
Okay.
The 12th, for the 12th.
Okay. So I think I misunderstood the email.
It was my understanding, Rebecca, that the board decided to put it on next week's agenda without your review, and that's what my email had said, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess the question is, so I I have a lot to prioritize. How high of a priority is this for the BOCC for me to review?
Well, probably for me, it's not high, but Mac has been calling apparently, looking for this and they need it signed. Who is it with? It was with the Homeland Security.
The Washington State Military Department.
Okay, that's who it's with. We just figured it is a government entity. We may be safe moving it forward. And Rebecca, I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm just trying to facilitate. Mac needs it. We've got it. Is this a contract that we've signed year after year? We can just kind of move forward on it.
Rob?
Yeah, I would like to move forward on it.
Okay. Um, so, and I don't know, Brandon, if you want to weigh in on this at all, but here's kind of where I'm at. I have probably about 10 or 15 contracts in my queue that need to be reviewed. So I just need to know, like, at the moment, um, if if my review is not going to matter to you on this contract, I would rather not review it. I don't want to waste my time, basically.
For me, I don't see your review impacting on this one. I mean, to me, it's between Mac and that organization, and it's been done in the past, so I'm okay going around review on this one.
Okay. And that's what I need to know at this point. So if my review is not going to matter, then I would rather not review it at this point. Okay. So that
Wait,
was
My understanding that we have done this contract several times in the past.
Correct.
And we've not had any issues.
I don't believe we've had any issues. Nothing that I'm recalling that we've had issues with.
Rebecca, do you know the answer to that?
as far as I'm aware, I am not aware of any issues.
So is it just a contract renewal or are they changing any terms?
I believe it's a renewal.
Barb, do you know if it's just a renewal?
It's a different, they give us amounts each year and it's us accepting $66,000 for this year, except for like maybe last year it might have been 59,500.
Okay.
Whether or not there's any changes to terms and conditions, I do not know.
Then I think probably the best, if it's not really going to matter, and we've done this time and time again, if our time could be spent better somewhere else, just go ahead and sign it and we can move on.
With the understanding that so here's kind of where my head is at. The next 3 months for our office for the civil department is going to be pretty it is going to be pretty tight. And so this, in my mind, the next 3 months is going to be a little bit abnormal for our office in what you're going to see and what we're going to be okay with. Normally, as you've experienced in the past, I do want to see every contract and I want to review every contract because I mean, especially right now with things with the state and the way things that are going with the state and federal government, I do want to review state contracts because I think things can be put in there and slipped in there, and it is important to review. But right now, the next several months, it's just things are ramping up with our office. The civil department is just with Kevin gone, we're taking a huge hit. And we just kind of need to sort some things out the next several months. Just kind of to be aware, the next several months for us are going to look a lot different, just so that you're aware.
So Rebecca, I guess I would feel better if we still sent them to you and like this contract, I'm not saying it's not important, but it is more of a renewal. And if you could just, I mean, I don't want to bypass you. Unless it's adding more, like, I'm not gonna review it, but I don't have any concerns, or I'm not gonna be able to review it, but since it's a renewal, move forward on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think
this one's throwing up red flags, hold on to this one.
And I think we continue the process. Just be aware that the next several months, just um, Barb and I probably will need to structure our time and priorities a little differently.
Okay.
And Brendan, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that at all.
I mean, I think what you're saying is right, but we are adjusting some things in the office. I'm trying to move as fast as I can with things, so we're doing a little bit of restructuring. Hopefully that will alleviate a little bit of what Barbara and Rebecca are doing, but I can't make any promises right now because it all is just kind of a hypothetical of what if we take this away, will it free up your time? So certainly there's going to be change as I'm not Kevin. But I'm also planning to operate things differently than Kevin. So it might get worse for a while, but hopefully we can get things going as quickly as possible. So if the idea is that we want to send the contracts to our office to review them, I think that that's great, but also with kind of like a level of priority of importance of please do this one, and this one's not as much of an urgency.
Yeah. So we do want to continue. We do want to continue contract review, but we just need more communication from people as far and department heads and offices as far as deadlines, matters of urgency, like how urgent is this? Like we need a lot more communication. One thing I probably could have done better with Barb was communicating back to her, just asking regarding level of urgency, and just asking more questions about this particular contract. So I can definitely amp up my communication. But yeah, um, we just we definitely need people to communicate, and be honest about if it's not so if it's not urgent, please tell us. I feel like so many times people use the word urgent, yeah, when it's not actually that urgent. So.
Rebecca, can you, on our weekly update, can you email weekly kind of a list of contracts that you are working on and kind of what's in the queue so that we are able to help prioritizing contracts together?
I could do it for your office. I I I need to stop and think about I need to stop and think about it for other offices. I need to stop and think through that because there while I am the attorney for the entire Grant County, you also there is a level of client attorney confidentiality per office. Um, and whether that would violate attorney-client confidentiality, like how far down does that go? I would have to stop and think about that one.
If there was one that did breach that, then I would just say couldn't you say I'm working on 2 contracts at the sheriff's office? You don't have to give any details of the contract.
Oh, I see. So just like how many contracts?
Yeah.
I could probably do that. How many contracts per department?
And I don't know if this emergency management, I'm just listening to emergency management who is in need of it, who's been calling or requesting from our office that it needs to get done ASAP. So personally, I don't know if it's an emergent issue, but to them it appears to be.
And Cindy, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Could you repeat that?
The one that Barb emailed you about, I'm not sure that it's an emergent issue, but emergency management feels that MAC dispatch feels that it's an emergent issue. So we will try to look at the weekly list of contracts and kind of help prioritize as well.
Yeah. I mean, if it truly is, I mean, I'm happy to look at those. But typically what happens is I get 7 departments all saying that their contracts are emergency contracts. And I have a hard time really believing that.
You want to email MAC dispatch, Rob, and ask?
I can do that since they've been emailing me.
Okay.
Yeah, I never got emailed on that one. For me, I still am, if that's a standard, how it's been, just a dollar amount change for them to receive funding, I don't see a need to hold up Rebecca on something like that and to hold up MAC to wait for it.
And then does the board feel it's an urgent matter for the Moses Lake Sand Dunes for the transfer of property? What would you label that as? Because they have also requested an update.
Well, it's just a letter of intent that is on my list, a letter of intent for the transfer of the, I think it's the DNR land to transfer it. Somebody in the sheriff's office signed it instead of the commissioners. The commissioners just need to send a letter to, I think it's Fish and Wildlife or DNR instead of the employee, and the sheriff's office that sent the letter of intent.
I did originally take a look at that for the sheriff's office, and I believe I did have a couple of questions. I can circle back to that. And is there a deadline, or is there a time frame that needs to be done by?
I think that's up to the board.
I don't know if they have put a timeline on it. I don't know. They were basically working with the sheriff's office, it sounded like, and so.
Yep, and then everything got transferred to our office. And so we've been working with them, and Rebecca had questions on the letter of intent. And so we had asked Rebecca to review it. And unfortunately with her workload, it's been difficult. And we get that. We just don't know how urgent it is to the commissioners that we get this pushed through.
So I guess my question to you, can it wait a month?
To
Yes.
sign the LOI?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be
Correct.
after the letter of intent.
And I'm sorry, you broke up there. What was that?
So to sign a letter of intent is not a contract. There will be a contract following the letter of intent.
So, right. So the letter of intent goes through and includes, I believe, some documents and contracts, that attaches some different documents that I had some concerns about. And so I wanted to go back and make sure I remember those, what my concerns were before raising those.
I'm sure a month would be fine.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is obviously we would like to take over that piece of property. I don't see a giant rush for it. I do have concerns on if the letter of intent's gonna take time and then there's gonna be a contract. That's also gonna need review time.
Well, Josh has already signed the letter of intent, so I don't know if it's null and void.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
On
It
July-
is null and void. The sheriff reached out to them and said, please disregard that. It's now with the commissioner's signature.
Okay, so a month is, we've already waited a month, so another month is not gonna be a problem.
Okay. So I'm hearing Cindy is okay with a month. Rob, are you okay with a month?
Yeah, this would be something where I would like the follow-up schedule, next week, like, yeah, it's still 3 weeks, 2 weeks from now, yeah, it's still 2 weeks, a month, yeah, I'm reviewing it, or it's still a month out, because obviously my decision would change 4 weeks from now, possibly.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Anything else?
Jim may be reaching out to you. It probably is something of an emergent issue from the fairgrounds. There is a band that will be coming. We had
I'm sorry, a new what?
band, a band.
Band. Okay.
We had a cancellation of one. They were able to reach out. We are getting a band that is much more well-known band coming than the one that we previously had. They kind of worked together, I think, with the managers. So that review probably needs to happen before they get to the fair next week. So that would probably be an emergent issue.
Okay. And has Jim reached out to Barb on that one?
He was working with his, I think Romeo, they were going through the contract and actually make sure it mirrored the band that we previously had, which was, I don't know. So it was the same contract. So that's what they're working on right now. So there will be nothing changed from the one that we approved. Other
Okay.
than the new name of the up and coming band.
Okay. Thank you for the heads up. Okay, anything else?
I think that's it.
Anything, Brandon, for you for the last 4 minutes?
I don't think so. What do you all like to hear about from us, as this is my first real one?
Whatever you feel like you need to
Whatever
tell
we
us.
want to
Yeah.
talk about. I will say that there is a new, a case that came out that's going to affect the way that we do administrative bookings at the jail. Just to give you a quick rundown, if we have somebody who is not already in the jail, but we charge them with the crime and they're brought in by summons, so we're mailing something and they come in, we do what's known as an administrative booking, where they go down to the jail, get fingerprinted and all of that stuff. It was challenged in Seattle and King County, where essentially it was an unreasonable search because we don't allow people into the jail unless we empty their pockets and search them in order to fingerprint them. So we can't do that any longer. And so I'm gonna have to have a meeting with the sheriff's office as well as the jail to figure out another way to go about doing that. And it might include the need to install a fingerprint machine somewhere outside of the jail, like inside of the courtroom or something like that. But it's a larger kind of picture, but we just, at the moment, it's unconstitutional. So we have to stop doing it immediately. And therefore we have to figure out another way to do it. So that's a big one. And then we also have a 3-day arraignment schedule that is going to be starting at the beginning of September. That's also going to, change the scheduling for both court and even probably potentially the sheriff's office as well, as it would affect the jail. And that starts, I think it's September 1st. So we're gonna have to have a roundtable of meetings with the clerk's office and the jail for that as well as the court. But other than that, on my first day, we did let a deputy prosecutor go. So we've moved a few people around in Superior Court. I know we keep saying that we're shorthanded. It's very true. I'm trying to work on getting other people here, as well as just other staffing needs. So there is going to be a little bit of movement. So as Rebecca said, I'm thinking probably 3 months is probably a good estimate of how long we might experience the shock effect, I'll say, but hopefully no more than that. So fingers crossed.
Okay. Well, welcome. I guess this is only day 2.
Yeah, day 2.
24, I don't know, 26 hours. I can't add.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't math either.
All right, we will go into recess until 2:02 when we are back for our weekly commission meeting. Good afternoon, it is 2:03 p.m. and we are here for our weekly commission meeting. I will now call the meeting to order and begin with an open forum for public input. 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. It looks like a couple of our call-in users dropped off. We have one user online and one in the room. Do you have anything for public comment? No?
We have a guest on an iPhone. I've allowed you to unmute if you have any public comment.
It's probably Kevin checking up on us.
Hearing none, I'll entertain approval of the agenda.
Let's try to move to approve the agenda.
I second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Do we have any correspondence, emails, letters of support, or things that need our response? Caitlin? Barbara?
I do not.
Okay. Will you forward the email from Mac to Cindy and Kevin?
Regarding the ordinance?
Yeah,
Sure will.
Mac had sent me an email basically wanting to make a request for some type of ordinance to address the misuse of the 911 line. I don't know exactly how that works.
Does somebody misuse the 911?
Yeah, so common users would just dial 911.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously it has fees associated with it, like we discussed a couple weeks ago, $30 per agency, depending, per call. So you will get that email and then we can review that next week.
And Kim, just to kind of expedite help, I got an email from Kim. The plan review, if the elected officials, the department heads could look at the old contract versus the old contract that was previously signed the year before, look at the new one, kind of compare so that it could, Rebecca or Barbara could kind of skim through it and look at where the differences were. So that was a great idea from Kim. Can maybe kind of help speed up the review time.
And she was online during the last meeting.
Okay. Says my comment on from the cheap seats, and it was a great comment. So I think we could probably do something like that.
And then any roundtable items?
I do have one. Just after today, seeing the Public Works meeting, how the board allowed public to comment that was in the room. Is that going to be a process that you think you're going to start again? Because you had people online that you probably should have, since you allowed the people in the room speak, open it up for the people online as well.
Typically that does not happen. I guess I feel like we're in the hot seat because of what's going on out on West Shore, and these individuals came, they had a presentation. I don't know if somebody told them to show up to this meeting because they should have been at the meeting today. We could have told them. So I think just as a courtesy, just to let them speak, because there's a lot of angst and anxiety and anger out there. So
Yeah,
sometimes it's just minimizing the risk.
And what they're asking for is being done, so, yeah.
We had it happen at a different meeting too with other.
It's not something we obviously want to do, but we also don't get attendance at this meeting. So if somebody's here at 9 a.m., I mean, I don't necessarily want to open it up to comments because it's not the structure we're trying to operate in. But if they're not going to be here right now, I'm not going to tell you at 9 a.m., hey, come back at 2 p.m. to make your comment. We stayed within our time.
There's a lot of damage that can happen between now and, and 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. So sometimes it's just, I think, serving the public. We do work for the public, serving those that come in. It doesn't happen very often, but there was a room full of people.
I mean, the only other thing we could do is have, like we do at HR, where we open with public comment.
And it's not required for you to do that. I think that since you did it earlier today with the people in the room, we should have done it with the people online as well.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know we had people online.
I didn't know that. I didn't check online either.
We just want to be consistent with your processes.
Process of either of our.
Right.
I get a text from somebody that did comment that their thoughts were not the same as the people that were in the room. So.
Okay, something to think about.
Okay, thank you.
Any other roundtable items? Any walk-ons?
Did not receive anything from Jim about that new contract. I never got anything from him,
So just, we do have a roundtable item, and we just told Rebecca we could wait a month for that land transfer. The Mosaic Sand Dunes.
For the letter of intent?
Yes, it could take up to a month.
Okay. Sorry, yesterday the board had said that you would feel comfortable signing it, like while she, like still have her review it, even after you guys sign it, since this one was just a letter of intent, did you want to?
She just told
not?
us there were 2 things that she wanted to look into.
Yeah,
So-
she's concerned with it, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that
she's
was
not
my
doing it.
direction, letter of intent is letter of intent, it's not
It referenced
contract,
a couple things.
but she had concerns with it and wants to hold it, so.
I will
Okay.
reach out to land management then also. They had asked for an update, so I had let them know yesterday that it would be for you guys next week, but I will reach out again.
Probably wise, it's not my personal money. But they're giving it to us, so. So items on here holding 8, 9, 10, are there any other items?
Yeah, 6, we're gonna have to hold 6. And then number 4, I just would really like to visit with Carrie on that.
We're holding 6?
Well,
Oh,
I
because
can't,
you're
I can't
gonna
vote on it, so,
abstain.
out of state travel for myself. The CHG, before I adopt those dollar amounts, because apparently after doing a little research, the CHG, that's, some of them can go to different, like the, Hope Source can use some, New Hope, Housing Authority.
Yeah, it's
kind of have
based
different
on
ones, and it was-
services provided.
Yes, but instead of on this, I'd like to talk to Carrie first before, if we could just hold that one. Or we approve that budget.
I can't approve it on my own, so we'll hold 4, 6, 8, 9, 10.
Uh-huh.
We're holding all of them just 1 week.
Yes, unless Carrie's not here.
I would hold 8, 9, 10, 2 weeks. And probably, I would probably hold 4, 2 weeks. Because next week we have
Oh, that's right.
basically a short week with the
We can
fair.
hold all of them.
Well, we could approve your travel as long as there's 3 of us.
Are you wanting to have a
Hold off all of them for 2 weeks is what, if it's in the motion.
Rob, we have you as out on Monday. Are you still planning to be completely out Monday?
I will most likely be out Monday unless I'm on just for, the meeting will still be Tuesday, or is it changed to Monday?
The commissioners asked for it to be on Monday.
Yeah, I'll be online for that, but the rest of the meetings I'll probably not be in on.
So we won't have an opportunity to so we'll hold 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10. I'm just verifying for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The consent meeting will be next Monday at 2 p.m. Did you want there to be a consent agenda review meeting? And then we were gonna cancel all the other updates.
So we can review it. We're at our 2 o'clock meeting.
Is that wrong? It'll just be the consent agenda meeting next week, then no other updates.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through 20, holding 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10 for 2 weeks.
I will second that motion. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes to approve consent agenda items as announced by Commissioner Carter. That will conclude consent agenda items. We will sign.
It's a quick one.
Yeah. Short. Hey, it's almost pickup.
Oh, my breath is there.
AP batch.
AP.
Minutes. Extension request. Special occasion liquor license.
amendments to the tourism bylaws. Reimbursement request from Hope Source. Table 1 and 2 for the comp plan amendments. Permission to DocuSign. Grant agreement for Public Works.
And it's pretty slick to sign things online. They're just and stuff.
Another grant agreement for Public Works.
No signature page.
No, this one I believe is for them. They'll be signing. That's surplus and selling to central services vehicle. So request for a hearing to declare surplus. Out of state travel for renew. County Accident Prevention Program. Purchase order. That's it.
Well, that was smooth.
Okay.
All right, we will go into recess and conclude our consent agenda meeting at 2:17 p.m.
Did you guys have a contentious meeting this morning?
No.
We said Public Works, but we had 1, 2, 3, 6 maybe.
Okay.
People who came. And usually when people come, they want to talk.